My brother and I fell in love with the same woman. Her name was Amelia, and she was 6 months older than me. I was introverted and clumsy with words, never knowing what to say whenever I saw her. But my brother, Victor, was smooth and emotionally intelligent, always managing to make Amelia laugh, so I figured she must have liked him. That year, Victor got into college, but since we brothers only had each other, we couldn't afford the tuition and living expenses. He suggested I go work in the coal mines in West Virginia to support his education. He said we were brothers, and as long as he could finish his degree, he would never let me down in the future. The pay at the mine was high, but it was dangerous. Over 4 years, I saw countless accidents happen around me. The most dangerous was a recent mine collapse. I was almost buried alive. Although I escaped with my life, I was injured. Afterwards, the mine boss tossed me $20,000, and that was the end of it. A few days later, Victor called, saying he had crashed his bike, injured his leg, and needed money for the hospital. I transferred the $20,000 the boss had given me and rushed home. I didn't know which hospital he was in, and he wasn't answering his phone, so I went next door to ask our neighbor, Aunt May. "Ethan, who told you your brother was in the hospital?" Aunt May said. "I heard it's his girlfriend's birthday today, and he's treating her to dinner at that hotel down the street." My brother wasn't in the hospital, and he had a girlfriend? Aunt May glanced at me, then added, "That place is crazy expensive. A dinner like that has to cost a few $1,000s. Your brother just graduated and hasn't even found a job, so I have no idea where he got that kind of money." Every penny I had earned over the past 4 years was my hard-earned money, and I'd never been to such a fancy hotel. But my brother was treating someone to a dinner that cost thousands. What made me even angrier was that he had lied to me. All these years, I worried he wasn't eating enough or dressing warmly, and he used a hospital stay to trick me out of the $20,000 I had nearly died for. Furious, I stormed over to the hotel Aunt May mentioned. The inside was opulent, and soon, a stunningly beautiful face appeared in my line of sight. It was Amelia, whom I hadn't seen in 4 years. At that moment, my heart felt like it had stopped beating. Amelia saw me too and walked quickly toward me. "Ethan!" "Amelia, long time no see." A look of genuine surprise flashed across Amelia's pretty face, but it was quickly replaced by anger. She said, "For years ago, you just left without a word. I kept looking for you, but it was like you had vanished from the face of the earth. I couldn't find you anywhere. Then, 2 months ago, I heard from Victor that you got married. Congratulations on getting married so young. Why didn't you bring your wife back for everyone to meet?" "I was married. I spent the last 4 years in a coal mine. How could I have gotten married?" Just as I was about to explain, my brother Victor came out of the private room. He was dressed in a sharp suit, looking refined and gentlemanly, while I stood there in my simple clothes, looking like I came from poverty, a stark contrast. A flicker of panic crossed Victor's face before he forced a smile and walked toward me. "Ethan, when did you get back? It's Amelia's birthday today, so we're celebrating here." As Victor spoke, he shot me a meaningful glance. Then he turned to Amelia and said, "Everyone's waiting for you. Why don't you go back inside? I need to have a private word with Ethan." Amelia shot me a harsh glare before going back into the room. It was only then that I realized my brother's girlfriend was Amelia. A surge of anger rose in me. "Victor," I said, "weren't you supposed to be in the hospital?" "Ethan, I'm sorry. I wasn't actually injured. I lied to you. I just wanted to give Amelia a proper birthday," my brother said, his eyes full of apology. "I know it's not easy for you to earn money. Just consider that $20,000 alone. I'll definitely pay you back in the future." "Then why did you tell Amelia I was married?" I demanded. My brother hesitated for a few seconds before putting his arm around my shoulder. "I know you like Amelia too, but you should know that I'm the one she likes. Besides, we've already, been intimate." My heart felt like it had been stabbed, a sharp, piercing pain. After a long moment, I managed to control my emotions. "I don't want to know about you too. I just want to know why you said I was married." My brother explained. The two things weren't originally related, but Amelia kept saying how much you'd suffered these past few years, dropping out of high school to work and support my education. She was worried you'd continue to struggle, so she said she wouldn't agree to date me until your marriage was settled. So, I lied and told her you were already married. You two have already slept together, but you're not even officially dating? Is Amelia that kind of casual woman? My brother couldn't help but laugh. "Ethan, it seems you still don't understand Amelia. When it comes to that kind of thing, all women are the same. They say no, but deep down they really want it. After it happens, they're just afraid of others finding out. You'll understand when you get a girlfriend." Was Amelia really that kind of woman? My heart ached with a twisting pain. Later, my brother brought me into the private room, which was filled with his classmates. As the dinner was ending, a waiter wheeled in a cake cart. On top of the cake was a small red box. My brother opened it to reveal a diamond ring. Victor held the ring and walked up to Amelia. "Amelia, will you be my girlfriend?" The people in the room started cheering and egging them on. "Victor, what are you doing? We agreed it was just dinner. Why did you buy such an expensive gift?" "Take it back. I can't accept it," Amelia said, quickly refusing. But to me, she was just being hypocritical. They had already slept together, yet she was still pretending to refuse. My brother adjusted his glasses. "Amelia, I never confessed my feelings before because I wasn't in a position to take care of you. But now that I've graduated from college, I believe I can make you happy. And with Ethan married, I have no other obligations. Amelia, give me a chance to take care of you, please. Amelia looked at me with a complicated expression. Ethan, don't you have anything to say? Ethan is my own brother, of course he wants me to be with the person I love. Isn't that right, Ethan? My brother said, winking at me. Even though I also loved Amelia, how could someone like me, who hadn't even finished high school, ever be worthy of her? Besides, she had already slept with my brother. For her to have the nerve to ask for my opinion was utterly ridiculous. I chugged a few glasses of wine. My brother's a good guy. You two will be happy together. Then I suppose I should thank you for your blessing? After saying that, Amelia put the diamond ring on her finger in front of everyone. That night, my brother got drunk, and Amelia and I took him home together. My house was in a deep alley in the city's distant suburbs, surrounded by old buildings. Amelia used to live here too, before her family got rich and moved away. After helping my brother into bed, Amelia sat on the edge, exhausted and out of breath. Amelia, it's getting late. I should take you home. Amelia glanced at me. When did I say I was going home tonight? I'm your brother's girlfriend now. He's drunk. Shouldn't I stay and take care of him? When you get drunk, doesn't your wife take care of you? A bitter smile crossed my face. I don't have a wife. I don't even have a girlfriend. Why aren't you saying anything? Am I wrong? Forget just staying to take care of him. It would be perfectly normal for me to share a room with him, right? I thought to myself, haven't you two already slept together? What's with the act? Did you and your wife wait until after you were married to sleep together? Amelia pressed, her beautiful face just inches from mine. I quickly backed away a few steps. I'll go tidy up. You can sleep upstairs tonight. I'll take care of my brother. I had just turned when she grabbed me and pulled me back. Why should I sleep upstairs? He gave me this diamond ring today. It must be worth at least a few $1,000s, right? Your brother is so good to me. I should give him my most precious thing in return. Amelia, your family is so well off. A single ring was enough to win you over. Amelia scoffed. As if you've ever given me anything more precious. I was speechless. Amelia continued, forget gifts. You've probably almost forgotten I even exist, haven't you? I haven't, I yelled. After dropping out, I changed my number and deleted her contact information, afraid I wouldn't be able to resist calling her. But her image was etched into my mind, impossible to erase. Then why haven't you contacted me in 4 years? And you even married into someone else's family? Amelia pressed relentlessly. My mind was a mess, and I stammered, unable to form a coherent sentence. Amelia was furious and shouted at me, Ethan, you're always so quiet. If you don't speak up, how is anyone supposed to know what you're thinking? What have you been doing these past 4 years? You're not married, are you? Is your brother lying to me? Say something. I said nothing. She was already with my brother. What good would telling the truth do now? In the end, Amelia gave me a disappointed look and went upstairs to sleep. As I was drifting in and out of sleep, I suddenly felt something was wrong. I opened my eyes to a sea of fire. The house was on fire. I rushed into the room to wake my brother. He was terrified, and his first instinct was to run outside. I grabbed him and shouted, Amelia is still upstairs. The fire was growing fiercer. My brother, his face filled with terror, shook off my hand and bolted out of the yard to save himself. The house was about to collapse. If I ran now, I could still live, but what about Amelia? I rushed into the kitchen, soaked my clothes with water, and charged upstairs. Her room was engulfed in flames. When I kicked the door open and rushed in, Amelia was already unconscious. I picked her up and charged out. The raging flames and smoke made my consciousness fade. Just as I burst out of the house, a burning beam crashed down on my back, and I instantly lost consciousness. When I came to, the neighbors had put out the fire, but the house was a ruin. Amelia was clinging to my brother, sobbing. I asked Amelia if she was hurt. She just gave me a cool glance and said, so now you remember me? Where were you when the fire started? Luckily, Victor saved me or I would have been dead. Hearing this, I looked at my brother in stunned disbelief. My brother held Amelia and said, Amelia, I told you I would take care of you for the rest of my life. I would even give my life to protect you. Victor, I'm so moved. Thank you. I was the one who saved her. What was even more infuriating was that my brother had shamelessly taken the credit. At that moment, I completely lost it. I roared, I was the one who saved you. Amelia looked at me with surprise, but her expression quickly returned to calm. My brother shot back, Ethan, you ran for your life the moment you saw the fire. It was me who risked my life to save Amelia. So how did it become your achievement? What are you trying to say? Besides, Amelia is my girlfriend. It's my duty to save her. What right do you have to save her? And why would she believe you? Amelia gave me a cold glance and said, Ethan, your brother is right. Do you have any idea how much courage it takes to run into a situation like that to save someone? Would you risk your life to save me? If I were really that important to you, you wouldn't have gone 4 years without contacting me. Would you? Let's just drop it. I know perfectly well who I'm indebted to. Faced with her questions, I fell silent once again. That incident made me see my brother for who he truly was. After the house burned down, Amelia took Victor back to her home. Her parents had initially disapproved of them being together, but after hearing that he had saved her from the fire, and considering he was a college graduate, they tacitly approved of their relationship. With nowhere to go, I temporarily stayed at Aunt May's house next door. When she asked me how the fire started, I couldn't explain it and could only guess it was an electrical short. It wasn't until 3 days later that I learned it was arson. I was clearing debris in the ruins when a group of people suddenly barged in. The leader was a young woman in sunglasses, followed by 4 or 5 burly men in black suits. They didn't look friendly. The woman glanced at the burnt-out house, then walked up to me and asked condescendingly, "You're Victor's brother, Ethan?" I asked warily, "Who are you? What do you want? Answer my question first." The woman's voice was domineering. "I'm Ethan." The woman asked again, "So you were the one who pulled that bitch out of the fire? Your brother didn't even have the guts to save her, but you risked your life for her? What? Are you trying to cheat with your brother's girl? Bitch? Amelia?" My brow furrowed. How did they know? That damn bitch is lucky. A fire that big, and it still didn't kill her, the woman said, gritting her teeth. "Who are you people? How do you know what happened that night?" "I'm the one who had someone set that fire." "Of course I'd know," the woman scoffed. Hearing that, I was instantly consumed by rage. I was about to make a move, but the burly men rushed forward and pinned me to the ground. I was completely powerless. "If you want to live, tell me where Victor is right now," the woman said, looking down at me. I gritted my teeth and said nothing. The woman crouched down, slapped me hard across the face, and snapped, "Who do you think you are? You think you can act tough in front of me? Believe it or not, I'll burn this place down again. Now talk, where is Victor hiding? If you don't tell me, I'll just have to take my anger out on you." I'm naturally stubborn. I just tilted my head and remained silent. "Heh, you're a stubborn one, aren't you, miss? Looks like we need to teach him a lesson so he knows who he's dealing with," one of the burly men said, cracking his knuckles. The woman held up a hand to stop him and pulled out her phone to dial a number. "Victor, I've got your little brother. If you don't want anything to happen to him, you'd better." Before she could finish, my brother hung up. The woman, furious, tried calling again, but the phone was already turned off. The woman laughed in fury. "So this is what brothers means. I've really learned something today. Ethan, your brother pissed me off, but since he's hiding, I'll just have to use you as my punching bag," I said viciously. "A heartless piece of trash like him doesn't deserve to be my brother." The woman paused for a moment, then had her men drag me inside. The woman said her name was Chloe, and she was my brother's classmate from college. Victor had relentlessly pursued her to get close to her wealthy family, the Sterlings. But later, she discovered he was involved with many other women at school, and several had even had abortions because of him. Chloe couldn't stand it, which is why she was seeking revenge. Ever heard of the Sterling Corporation? I'm the Sterling Heiress. Your brother dared to play with my feelings. How do you think we should settle this score? I never imagined my brother was such a scumbag, but on second thought, if he could use his own brother, what wouldn't he do? I said, "You've already burned our house down. What more do you want?" Chloe glanced at me. "I heard Victor was celebrating that bitch's birthday, so I sent some people to teach them a lesson. I didn't expect them to go back to your old house. But business is business. Whatever the damages are, I'll pay for them." With that, Chloe tossed a card at me. "There's 200,000 in there. That should be enough for repairs, right? The house issue is settled. Now, how should we deal with your brother playing with my feelings? You're his brother. Why don't you pay his debt for him?" In the past, I would have taken the blame for him without a second thought, but now, I was completely disillusioned. I said, to pay for his education, I dropped out of school to work in a coal mine, enduring hardship and nearly getting buried alive. And him? He took my hard-earned money to please other women. Did he ever care if I lived or died? From now on, he's him and I'm me. His problems have nothing to do with me. You think I'll let you go just because you disown him? You came from the same womb. He's a scumbag. So what does that make you? I know you know where Victor is. Give him a message. He'd better come find me before dark tomorrow. This is his last chance. Otherwise, it won't just be him I'm after. You and that bitch won't get off easy either. Chloe patted my cheek. You risked your life to save that bitch from the fire. That proves you care a lot about her. After Chloe left, I went to Amelia's house. She answered the door with a smile, but it vanished the moment she saw me. What is it you? What are you doing here? She said coldly. I'm looking for Victor. Your brother went out and isn't back yet. You can just tell me what you need. This is something you can't handle. Since he's not here, I'll wait for him outside. I sat on a bench by the artificial lake outside her community to wait for him. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I think I have a right to know what's going on with your brother, Amelia said, her tone making me uncomfortable. I sneered. You just started dating him. How many rights do you think you have? And how much do you really know about him? Amelia glanced at me and said, for the past 4 years, it's like you vanished off the face of the earth. We tried everything to find you, and it turns out you just married into some rich family. It's ridiculous. So, when it comes to what's happened in the last 4 years, I know a lot more than you do. I laughed in fury. Victor didn't have any news of me either. So why don't you ask him where the money he's been spending for the last 4 years came from? Amelia's expression instantly became complicated. Are you saying you were the one supporting him through college these 4 years? I don't want to bring up the past. Amelia, if you have even a shred of trust in me, leave Victor immediately. If you don't break up with him soon, you'll definitely get dragged into this mess with Chloe. You tell me to break up with him and I should just do it? Who do you think you are to me? Why should I let you order me around? Your brother likes me. Do you like me too? Amelia yelled at me, exasperated. I do like you. I've liked you since we were kids. I don't know where the courage came from, but I roared the words from the bottom of my heart. After I said it, my heart pounded, and I couldn't bring myself to look at her. We were silent for a long time before Amelia suddenly cried out, "You like me? Then why didn't you tell me sooner? The day your brother gave me the ring, I even asked you, and you were the one who told me to accept it. Do you know? The person I've always liked is you, Ethan, not your brother Victor. All these years, I've been waiting for you to say that, but you're always so quiet. If you don't say it, how am I supposed to know what you're thinking? The person she liked was actually me." Tears streamed down Amelia's face as she cried, "I've already accepted your brother's proposal. For you to tell me you like me now, don't you think it's too late? Ethan, I hate you." She crouched down, holding her head in her hands and sobbed. My heart felt like it was being twisted by a knife. No wonder she had asked for my opinion that day. She was waiting for me to confess. I was such an idiot for believing Victor when he said she was already his. I stammered incoherently, "Amelia, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." Amelia glared at me with red-rimmed eyes. "It's not me you've wronged. It's my feelings for you. I've been giving you chances all these years, and you're the one who created this mess. Since we've missed our chance, let's just end it here. And remember one thing, from now on, I'm your brother's girlfriend. He was willing to risk his life to save me, and I will never do anything to betray him. The person who saved you that night was me, not Victor. You." Amelia shot me a cold glance and sneered, "Do you really think I'd believe you? I admit I used to like you, but after everything that's happened, I've finally seen your true colors. You say you like me, but you didn't contact me once in 4 years and instead married into someone else's family. While you were out there living your happy life, did you ever once think about my feelings? And you still have the nerve to say you like me? Is one wife not enough for you that you have to come and play with my emotions too? Ethan, you're so fake. I never thought you were this kind of person. I'm telling you, even if I weren't your brother's girlfriend, I would never be with you. From now on, all I feel for you is hate." All of these misunderstandings were caused by Victor. He knew all along that Amelia liked me, which is why he lied and told her I was married. But I couldn't just stand by and do nothing just because I was being misunderstood. I said, "The one playing with feelings isn't me, it's Victor. The truth is, he has a lot of women, and you're just one of them." Slap. Amelia slapped me hard across the face, gritting her teeth. "I won't let you slander Victor. I know what kind of person he is better than you do. You might be a scumbag, but he definitely isn't." My face stung, but my heart hurt even more. Just then, Victor returned. Seeing Amelia's tear-streaked face, he asked if I had been bullying her. "Ethan, even though you're my brother, Amelia is the woman I would protect with my life. If you dare to spout nonsense in front of her, don't blame me for disregarding our brotherly bond." His threat was really meant to reassure Amelia. Since we were past the point of pretending, I sneered, "Spouting nonsense? Hey, do you know Chloe? She told me to tell you that you'd better go find her before dark tomorrow, or there will be serious consequences." "Who's Chloe? I don't know her at all." "Ethan, I know you're just saying this to try and make Amelia leave me, but she won't be fooled by your words. Amelia, trust me, I really don't know any Chloe." Amelia smiled slightly and said, "Victor, if I didn't even have that much trust in you, I wouldn't deserve to be your girlfriend." Victor, looking triumphant, put his arm around Amelia and walked away. As it got dark, 2 of Chloe's men suddenly found me and took me to a resort villa in the suburbs. Chloe was sitting in a game room, the birthmark over her left eye very noticeable. "Did you do what I told you to do yesterday?" I nodded. Chloe slammed her hand on the table. "But he still hasn't come to find me. Does he really think I don't know where he's hiding?" One of the burly men quickly said, "Miss, I just got a call. We found him, and we brought that woman, Amelia, with him." My heart tightened. Amelia was captured too? Chloe walked up to me and said, "If you hadn't led the way yesterday, I really wouldn't have known where that damn couple was hiding." It was only then that I realized I had been followed the day before. I quickly said, "Miss Sterling, Amelia actually has no idea about your relationship with Victor, so you shouldn't treat her like the other woman." Chloe cut me off. "Shut up. Just mentioning that little sweetheart pisses me off. Say one more word, and I'll have them cut out your tongue." About 10 minutes later, Victor and Amelia were brought in. Chloe rushed forward and started punching and kicking Victor. He tried to fight back but was immediately taken down by her men. "Stop it. What gives you the right to hit him? I'm going to call the police." Amelia cried out, her face pale with fear. Chloe gave her a cold look. "Well, sweetheart, you really are pretty. No wonder that bastard Victor betrayed me for you. But crossing me comes with a heavy price." Victor quickly said, "Amelia, it's my fault. I shouldn't have lied to you. I dated her for a while, but then I realized we weren't a good match, so we broke up. The person I truly love is you." Chloe grabbed an ashtray to smash it over his head, but was stopped by one of her men. "How much is his worthless life worth?" "I can afford it." Chloe scoffed, then continued, "Victor, you listen to me. You didn't dump me. I dumped you. A scumbag like you isn't even fit to shine my shoes. but you've successfully pissed me off. You like this little sweetheart, don't you? Then I'm going to make you watch as she's violated. I'm going to make your life a living hell." Chloe glanced at her burly men and continued, "You guys are in for a treat tonight. This little sweetheart is so delicate. Be gentle with her. Don't kill her." The men's eyes lit up as they dragged a desperately struggling Amelia towards the next room. Victor grabbed Chloe's leg and begged, "Chloe, I'm begging you, don't hurt her. I'll do anything you want." "Anything? Fine. Cut off your own arm, and I'll spare her," Chloe said coldly. Victor's face turned ashen, and he froze on the spot. "You're scared." Chloe kicked him away. "I knew you wouldn't have the guts. I gave you a chance, so don't blame me for being ruthless. Take her away." Amelia was dragged out. I took out the card and said, "Miss Sterling, I'll give you back this 200,000. I just ask that you let Amelia go." "Do I look like I need 200,000? Chloe stared at me coldly. "I know you're not short on money, Miss Sterling, but this is between you and him. Amelia is truly innocent. Can you please let her go?" pleaded. Chloe looked at me for a few seconds. "Trade one of your arms for her safety. Do you dare? If you do, I'll let the little sweetheart go." I was terrified too. Chloe scoffed. "Looks like you're just another gutless man." "I dare," I said loudly. "But you have to keep your word." A flicker of surprise crossed Chloe's face before she gave a signal. Two of her men came over. One pinned my right hand to the card table while the other raised a stool. "Kid, think carefully. Once this stool comes down, that arm is done for. That little sweetheart is your brother's woman. He didn't have the guts. So what are you trying to prove by playing the hero?" I was drenched in a cold sweat, but I couldn't let Amelia be violated. I squeezed my eyes shut and tensed my entire body. There was a loud thud, followed by a scream of pain. I snapped my eyes open to see Victor clutching his right hand, his face contorted in agony. "Victor, our score is settled. Remember, don't ever mess with me again. You can't afford to play this game." Chloe threw down some money for medical bills and let them go. Seeing Victor's right hand, Amelia broke down crying. She must have thought he had sacrificed his arm to save her. In reality, Victor never expected the stool to come down on him. Watching Amelia's heartbroken expression, I wished I had been the one with the broken arm. Amelia immediately took Victor to the hospital. As much as I hated him, I still followed. Victor's right hand had multiple fractures, and he was moved to a regular ward the next morning. When I went in to see him, he suddenly asked, "Ethan, you're my own brother. Why would you try to harm me and Amelia?" I was completely baffled by the question, and Amelia looked at me with confusion. Victor continued, "Don't play dumb. That card you have, Chloe gave it to you, right? It has 200,000 on it. Why would she give you so much money? She's never even met Amelia, so you must have been the one who sold us out. I treated you like a brother, and you tried to get me killed. Harming me is one thing, but Amelia is innocent. If I hadn't sacrificed my hand, she would have been violated by those thugs. Ethan, oh Ethan, if you can't have Amelia, you'd rather destroy her? Your heart is so vicious. Get out. I never want to see you again." I never expected Victor to turn around and blame me. Amelia questioned me coldly. "Ethan, is what Victor said true? Did you take that woman's money?" "Amelia, the card is on him. Search him if you don't believe me." And last night, I heard him say with my own ears that the 200,000 on the card was from Chloe. Hearing this, Amelia lost control, her eyes turning red as she screamed at me. "Ethan, you said you liked me. Is this how you show it? You heartless bastard. Get out. I never want to see you again in my life." I tried to explain, but Amelia was too emotional to listen. With Victor fanning the flames, she treated me like an enemy, kicking and shoving me out of the hospital room. I was also filled with rage. Why did she believe Victor so easily but refused to trust me? To save her, I had risked my life in a fire. When she was in danger, I was willing to trade my arm for her safety. Yet all of that meant less than a few words from Victor. I was utterly disappointed. Since she was so convinced Victor was a good person, I would let her be. From now on, I wouldn't give a damn about her problems. I walked out of the hospital, and a pricey car was parked at the entrance. The window was halfway down, and it was Chloe. Chloe beckoned to me with her finger. "Get in." I asked cautiously, "Where are we going? Are you afraid I'm going to eat you?" Chloe said with a half smile. "So what if I have a birthmark on my face? I'm rich. I have plenty of men chasing me. I might not even be interested in someone like you." I hesitated for a few seconds, then walked over. "Why did you call me over today? Your feud is with Victor. Why did you have to drag me into it? Now he's saying I'm the one who sold them out. He can say whatever he wants. Who's going to stop him?" Chloe glanced at me coolly. "Besides, do you really care what a scumbag like him says? It wasn't Victor the first cared about, it was what Amelia thought of me. Here's your card back." I tossed the bank card through the window and turned to leave. "Hey, what's wrong with you? Just because of something Victor said, you're giving up $200,000? This isn't a bribe, it's compensation. Don't you want to rebuild your house? You're the Sterling heiress. As long as you don't cause me any more trouble, I'll be grateful. If I take your money, I'm afraid I won't live long enough to spend it." She was a pampered heiress from a different world. If I took this money and she changed her mind later, what I'd have to pay back would likely be far more than 200,000. I had saved some money over the past 4 years, so I planned to find a job first, and once I had a stable income, I'd rebuild the house. But after several days of job hunting, I was rejected everywhere because of my lack of education. That afternoon, I ran into my childhood friend, Kevin, in an alley. We ended up drinking at a roadside barbecue stand, and he said it was tough to make it out there and better to try and make a living back home, which I agreed with. Kevin mentioned he'd spent a year learning how to barbecue and wanted to open a stand in Riverton but didn't have the capital. The owner of the barbecue stand overheard our conversation and came over with a beer. He said he'd been doing it for over 10 years, was tired of it, and wanted to sell the stand for just the cost of the equipment. Fueled by the alcohol, Kevin and I made a quick decision and bought the stand for $120,000. I put up the money, he provided the skills, and we agreed to a 70-30 profit split in my favor. After renovating the place, we officially opened about 2 weeks later. Business was good that day, and Kevin and I were swamped. It only got easier after Aunt May and her daughter came to help out. After seeing off a wave of customers, a champagne-colored BMW pulled up, and Amelia and Victor got out. Amelia, now do you believe me? If Chloe hadn't given him a pile of money, how could he afford to take over this barbecue joint? Victor said, looking at me coldly. Ethan, isn't that Victor and Amelia? Kevin nudged me. Get back to work. Ignore them, I said, turning to go back inside. Ethan, come over here. I need to talk to you, Victor called out. I walked over and asked coldly, what is it? Victor adjusted his glasses. The house is burned down. There's no point in keeping it. Someone wants to buy it, so I'm planning to sell. Sell the house? Absolutely not. That's the only thing our parents left us. Victor frowned. The house is a wreck. What's the use in keeping it? I'm the older brother, so I get to decide. Whether you agree or not won't change the outcome. They're offering $400,000, and we'll split the money 50-50. Even though you've done so much to wrong me, I can't be as heartless as you. I won't short you a single penny. I'm heartless. I laughed in fury. When I say the house burned down, don't you know exactly why? Victor, that was our parents' house. I have a share in it too. Until I agree, no one is touching that property. Victor's face flushed red. Amelia chimed in. The house is in such bad shape, there really is no use in keeping it. You shut up, I snapped. You're just his girlfriend, not even his fiancée. You have no right to talk about selling my family's house. That was the first time I had ever yelled at her. Amelia's face turned pale with anger, and she fell silent. Victor thought for a moment. Fine, the house is half yours, half mine. I'll sell my half. That should be okay, right? I was furious. Victor, you're a college graduate, for crying out loud. Do you really need to sell the house to survive? Besides, isn't she your girlfriend? Her family isn't short on cash. You're so smooth with your words, you might as well just become a kept man. After all, some people have terrible judgment and are easy to fool. Who are you calling someone with terrible judgment? Amelia retorted, furious. Victor gritted his teeth. Ethan, you shut your mouth. I'm with Amelia because I love her, not because I'm after her family's money. I'll provide for her with my own abilities, not by mooching off her. You think I'm like you, selling out my own brother to open this barbecue joint? Humph, I have some dignity. I just sneered. Aunt May and Kevin rushed over to mediate. Aunt May smiled and said, Victor, you can always discuss the house later. Ethan's place just opened today. If you're not busy, you should stay and support the business. Victor, Amelia, it's on me today. You can try my cooking and let me know if there's anything I can improve, Kevin said with a good-natured smile. Victor and Amelia took the opportunity to stay. As Kevin poured tea, Victor said sarcastically, Kevin, you're running this place with Ethan, right? Since we've known each other since we were kids, let me give you some advice. Ethan is the kind of person who would disown his own family for money. You'd better watch your back doing business with him, or you'll end up sold and still be counting the cash for him. I was furious, but Aunt May gave me a look, telling me to ignore it. Kevin scratched his head. Victor, Ethan, and I grew up together. He's not the kind of person you're describing. Victor's face darkened. Amelia added with a blank expression, Kevin, just remember one thing. Don't harbor ill intentions, but always be on guard against others. In the evening, another table of customers arrived, a group of 7 or 8 young men. From their conversation, I gathered they were in the used car business. These types were usually trouble, so I served them cautiously. But, of course, what you fear most is what happens. As Aunt May was serving a dish, a bald guy took the opportunity to grope her thigh. Humiliated and enraged, Aunt May slapped him across the face. The group of young men instantly flipped the table, smashed a stool, and threatened to take Aunt May with them to teach her a lesson. I tried to talk them down, but they wouldn't listen and were ready to fight me. Seeing this, Victor quickly grabbed Amelia and tried to leave, afraid of getting involved. Victor, we've known Aunt May since we were kids. Now that we're here, we can't just let them do whatever they want, Amelia said. Victor hunched his shoulders and whispered, Amelia, keep your voice down. Don't let them hear you. They're all from the used car lot, which is basically a front for shady business. We can't get involved in this. Chloe gave him some dirty money, and he thinks he can run a business? Does he really think a barbecue joint is that easy to manage? You meet all sorts of people. To survive, you need connections on both sides of the law. It would be better if the place got trashed. The money he used to open it was ill-gotten anyway. This is his karma. Amelia looked up at me, her expression complicated. But, no buts, Amelia. Have you forgotten how I injured this hand? Victor said. If he hadn't sold us out, we wouldn't have ended up in Chloe's hands, and you wouldn't have been threatened. Even if I was the cause of the initial problem, he shouldn't have betrayed us for money, right? Hearing this, the look in Amelia's eyes changed, and she turned to walk towards the car. Just then, a dozen luxury cars pulled up, and a group of young men and women got out. The owner of the most expensive car was Chloe. Chloe, wearing sunglasses, saw the mess and immediately asked me, Ethan, what happened? Who did this? She turned her head to look at Victor and Amelia. Victor tensed up and quickly said, It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it was them. I doubt you'd have the guts, Chloe scoffed, walking straight towards the bald guy and his crew. You did this? She demanded sharply. Seeing her entourage, the group guessed she was someone important and didn't dare to make a move. The bald guy said grimly, Miss, I'd advise you to stay out of this. We're from Metro Motors Used Cars. Our boss is Leo 6 Vargas. You've probably heard of him, right? The bald guy had barely finished speaking when Chloe slapped him across the face. You should ask him if he's ever heard of the Sterling Corporation. Chloe's powerful presence completely intimidated the bald guy. Honestly, I was stunned. For a pampered heiress, she showed no fear when facing these street thugs. Of course, I was even more surprised that she was sticking up for me. All of you listen up. Ethan is my person. Anyone who messes with him is messing with me. Chloe Sterling, she declared Bachita. Everyone was stunned. I quickly said, When did I become your person? Don't talk nonsense. I was grateful to her, but I couldn't let her distort the facts. Chloe smiled faintly, and before I could react, she grabbed my chin and said forcefully, You weren't before, but from now on you, Ethan, are my person. I've got your back. If anyone dares to bully you, you just tell me, and I'll take care of them for you. I never dreamed she would flirt with me like that. I quickly backed away, my face burning. Victor's eyes were filled with resentment, his body radiating hostility. His backup is here, aren't you leaving yet? Amelia said, her expression complex as she shot me a glare, gritting her teeth. The bald guy lost his nerve and quickly started apologizing. Chloe glanced at him and said coldly, I know Leo Vargas used to be in the mob, but when it comes to bad guys, I, Chloe Sterling, am not afraid of anyone. Of course, the bald guy said, bowing and scraping. Since you seem to be sorry, I'll let you off the hook for today. However, you have to pay for everything you broke at full price. Any objections? None at all, that's only fair. I'll pay for everything. Chloe told me to calculate the damages, but I didn't, afraid of owing her a favor. In the end, the bald guy threw down $2,000, apologized to Aunt May, and fled. Aunt May came over and said, Miss Sterling, thank you so much for today. If you hadn't stepped in, they definitely wouldn't have let it go. Don't mention it, Aunt May. Ethan and I are very close. His business is my business, Chloe said, giving me a playful look. I instinctively looked away, unable to figure out her motive for helping me. Kevin chuckled and said, Ethan, I can't believe you know an heiress like Miss Sterling. How come you never mentioned it? With her looking out for us, we'll definitely be safe from now on. You got it. My name's Chloe. If you run into any trouble in the future, just use my name. People on both sides of the law have to give me some respect, Chloe said grandly. After that day, Chloe started bringing a group of rich kids to the restaurant every day. The dozen or so luxury cars parked out front were incredibly conspicuous. I knew they didn't actually like roadside stalls. They were all just doing it for Chloe, spending at least a few $1,000s each day. I opened the restaurant to make money, but after a while, I felt uneasy. We were practically strangers. Why was she helping me like this? A few days later, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to ask her what was going on. That evening, business was still good when Victor and Amelia showed up again. I thought they were there to eat, but Victor specifically asked for me. I walked over and Victor got straight to the point. I sold the house. $400,000. We each get $200,000. I told you I wouldn't short you a penny. Your 200 grand is on this card. He tossed a bank card onto the table. I exploded. I lunged forward, grabbed him by the collar, and clenched my fist, ready to punch him. Amelia quickly tried to break it up. Victor said, Amelia, let him hit me. I won't fight back. He's got powerful friends now, climbing his way up with the Sterling family. What am I to him anymore? Ethan, let go of Victor. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have someone backing you up, Amelia said indignantly. I asked around. Renovating your house would cost at least $200,000, and even then, it would only sell for $500,000 at most. Someone is offering $400,000 for it now. That's a rare opportunity, so selling it is the right move. Besides, Victor didn't short you any money. Even though you've wronged him, he's still treating you fairly. Why can't you be satisfied? The house was what our parents had left us. It was our home, a tangible memory. If the house was sold, that connection would be broken. I couldn't contain my anger and punched Victor in the face. He wasn't in great shape, and one punch from me, after 4 years of manual labor, sent him to the ground. Amelia shoved me aside and helped Victor up. Ethan, you're a complete and utter bastard. Victor put on an innocent act. Amelia, don't stop him. Let him hit me. Let's see if he has the guts to kill me or cripple me. That just made me angrier. I was about to go at him again, but Kevin quickly pulled me away. The other customers were watching, and it was bad for business. Victor, you just wait. Are you threatening me? Ethan, if anything happens to me in the future, it'll definitely be your doing. Victor, let's get in the car. He's gone crazy. He's completely unreasonable, Amelia said, pushing Victor into the car and driving away. A short while later, the car returned. Amelia got out alone and stood by the side of the road. I walked over to her. Don't you think you went too far? She said. You and Victor are brothers. Even though you've wronged him, he still cares about your relationship. But you keep hurting him again and again, destroying your bond. I never thought that in just 4 years you would turn into this kind of person, someone who would do anything for profit. Is money really that important to you? I know your family struggled, but at least you two had each other. And now, you're enemies. Is this the outcome you wanted? Ethan, one day you will regret this. I said, are you here to lecture me on how to be a person, or to defend your sweetheart? You can't even manage your own man. What right do you have to lecture me? Amelia was taken aback. You keep saying Victor wronged you, but what exactly did he do? Be clear about it. Miss Miller, if I told you, would you believe me? If I said I was the one who saved you from the fire, would you believe me? If I said I didn't sell you out, would you believe me? That day, when Chloe told me to trade my arm for your safety, I agreed. Would you believe that? In your eyes, Victor will always be the good guy, and I'll always be the irredeemable villain. For a dozen seconds, her expression shifted from surprise to doubt, then to deep thought, and finally back to cold indifference. I want to believe you, but that's not what I saw. The day of the fire, I woke up in Victor's arms, and you were still unconscious. How can an unconscious person save someone else? You say Chloe decided to let me go because of you, but all I saw was Victor getting hurt, while you didn't have a single scratch. Tell me, how am I supposed to believe you? Just stop. I'm the bad guy. Are you happy now? You said you never wanted to see me again in your life. Well, I'm telling you I don't want to see you either. So stop bothering me. I was about to explode. Amelia's face was also filled with anger. Just then, Chloe arrived with her group of rich friends. She told the others to go inside and glanced at Amelia. Ethan, what does she want with you? I'm warning you, you're my man. Don't you dare do anything to betray me, or your fate will be worse than that bastard Victor's. Your man? Why don't you ask him if he's married? You say he's yours, but did you ask his wife's opinion? Amelia retorted. Chloe froze and stared at me. You're married. So, do you still think he's as honest and simple as he seems? He even told me he liked me. If you don't mind that he's a married man, then I wish you both happiness. Ethan, this is the last time I'm coming to you. From now on, we're strangers, Amelia said before getting in her car and driving away. Chloe grabbed my ear and dragged me inside, everyone staring at me with strange looks. Once we were in an empty private room, Chloe let go and kicked my leg. You bastard, you better tell me the truth. Are you married? She took off her sunglasses and sat down, fuming. Speak up. If you dare to hide anything, you'll regret it. What does it matter to you whether I'm married or not? Chloe slammed the table. Of course it matters. If you're married, it will affect my plan. What plan? What are you up to now? First, tell me if you're married. I sighed and shook my head. Then why did that little sweetheart just say you were married? I'm telling you, it's all Victor's scheme. So you're saying the person that little sweetheart actually likes is you? And Victor lied about you being married just to get her? And your conflict with Victor is all because of her. Miss Sterling, you're a socialite, you could be a little more tactful. Amelia was just deceived by Victor. She's not a little sweetheart. Chloe laughed in exasperation. Oh, getting protective already? She only has eyes for Victor. There's no room for you. Defending her like this, don't you think you're being a little sweetheart yourself? Little sweetheart. The words were harsh, but there was some truth to them. She saw me as the bad guy, yet I was still looking out for her. What was I, if not a simp? Annoyed, I looked at Chloe. You guys should stop coming to support the business. You've all spent a lot of money here these past few days, and I know they only come because of you, but it's not right. I don't feel good earning money this way. You're the owner, we're the customers. We're willing to spend our money here, so what's there to feel uneasy about? Just say it, what do you want my help with? But my abilities are limited, I might not be able to help you. Looks like you're not as dumb as you look, Chloe said, suddenly sitting in front of me and staring with a smile. I want you to be my boyfriend. I shot up from my seat, my face a mask of disbelief. What's with the dramatic reaction? Don't tell me you think I'm ugly too. She wasn't ugly, it was just that birthmark. Looks like you're just like Victor. No taste and just as pathetic. You're a pampered heiress. I'm not good enough for you. Liar. Deep down, you're just disgusted by how I look, aren't you? I continued to shake my head. Then be my boyfriend. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Anything money can buy, I can get for you. Miss, can money buy affection? Of course not. Since you understand that, why ask me to be your boyfriend? You know I like someone else. That little sweetheart? You both actually like her? What's so great about her? She's just a little prettier than me, right? If it weren't for this birthmark on my left eye, I'd be way more beautiful. I'm not gonna let her off easy. I heard her parents are in the pharmaceutical supply business, made a bit of money a few years back. Here in Rivorton, with just one word from me, I could make the Miller family lose everything. Do you believe me? I didn't doubt her power for a second. Seeing my silence, Chloe glanced at me. So, are you going to consider it? Being my boyfriend has only upsides for you, no downsides. After speaking, she took out her phone and tapped it a few times. Let me show you something. I took it and saw it was a digital sales contract for a house. The property being sold was my old family home. The seller was Victor, and the buyer was a Henry Cole. How do you have this contract? Chloe just looked at me with a smile, saying nothing. A bold thought crossed my mind, and I asked tentatively, my family's house? You're the one who bought it? Is there a problem? Your house is worth $700,000 or $800,000 at most, but I offered $1 million. For a greedy guy like Victor, of course he'd sign the contract immediately. $1 million? But Victor clearly said it was $400,000. I looked closely, and the contract did indeed say $1 million. It hit me then. Victor had pocketed $800,000 for himself. That bastard. No wonder he was so eager to give me my share. It was guilt money. I heard you were always against selling the house because it was what your parents left you, which shows you're a sentimental person. So let's make a deal. If you agree to be my boyfriend for 3 months, I'll give the house back to you. It will be yours alone with no connection to Victor. How about it? 3 months in exchange for $1 million house? I was tempted not by the money, but by the chance to get my old home back. But I had my reservations. Why was she going to such lengths to make me her boyfriend? It definitely had nothing to do with feelings. A man should act like a man. Stop being so indecisive and wishy-washy like a woman. You'll never get anywhere. Just give me a straight answer, yes or no. In a moment of impulse, I agreed. To my surprise, Chloe walked right out and announced our relationship. Her rich friends immediately swarmed me, treating me with the warmth of a long-lost friend. They stayed late that night. Kevin came over and said, Ethan, you've hit the big time. Don't forget about me, your brother. I'll do whatever you need. Just say the word. It's not as simple as you think. And I'm not going to hit any big time. Ethan, it sounds like you still don't see me as a real friend. I gave his head a light shove. Get back to work. Stop daydreaming. But Ethan, there is one thing I really want to ask. How did things get so bad between you and Victor? Is it because of Amelia? Actually, even if you don't say it, I can tell she's the one you've liked since we were kids. The mention of Amelia brought a dull ache to my heart. I gave a bitter smile and didn't respond. One morning, just after I finished breakfast, Chloe came looking for me. Ethan, as my boyfriend, don't you have an obligation to go shopping with me? Miss Sterling, I'm a fake boyfriend. Fake, not fake. A fake boyfriend is still a boyfriend. I don't have time. I need to go buy ingredients. Let Kevin handle small stuff like that. Your job is to keep me happy. It doesn't matter if you make money or not. Worst case, I'll support you. I rolled my eyes, but in the end, she dragged me away with a mix of threats and promises. Chloe drove her convertible with no makeup on, dressed simply, radiating a confident beauty. After a few dozen minutes, she parked outside a high-end mall. She took me to the men's department on the 4th floor, wanting to buy me clothes. I found it hard to accept and politely declined. But Chloe just said, "Is there nothing here you like?" "That's not it, I have clothes to wear." Chloe looked me up and down. "Dressed like that, what woman would give you a second look? It's so drab. You're my boyfriend now. Even if you don't care about your own image, you have to consider my feelings. It's embarrassing for me to be seen with you when you're dressed so shabbily. Salesperson, bring out the most expensive menswear you have." Hearing that money was no object, the salesperson grinned from ear to ear and brought over several outfits. "Sir, please try these on for size." "No need to try them on, just bag them all up," Chloe said with a wave of her hand, looking every bit the little rich girl. The 3 outfits totaled $19,800. I was secretly shocked and whispered, "Forget it, it's too expensive. It would be a waste to wear such expensive clothes on me." Chloe shot me a sideways glance. "Do I look like I'm short on cash? Charge it." I was truly speechless. We shopped for so long my legs felt like they weren't mine anymore. Chloe took me to a nearby elegant coffee shop to rest. Before long, 3 young people walked in. Speak of the devil, it was Victor and Amelia, along with another young man in a suit. Chloe and I were sitting in a corner so they didn't see us. After the 3 sat down, the man in the suit smiled and said, "Mr. Hayes, Miss Miller, you both have excellent taste. That apartment has a great layout and wonderful lighting." So they were planning to buy a house. Chloe took a sip of her coffee. Buying a house? Looks like they're getting ready to get married. Hearing the word married left a sour taste in my mouth. "Mr. Lee, let's leave it at that for now. We'll discuss it further, and if we're both in agreement, we'll contact you again." Of course. I'll wait for your call." After the man in the suit left, Victor asked, "Amelia, what did you think of that place? Are you happy with it?" Amelia nodded. "It's just a bit overpriced. A good house sells itself, so it's normal for them to ask for a high price. As long as you're happy with it, I'll put down the deposit. Now that the old house is sold, I can't just keep living at your place. I know you don't mind, but after a while, I'm afraid your parents might have an issue with it, so I need to sort out the housing situation first." He took Amelia's hand. "Besides, didn't your parents want us to get engaged? It wouldn't look good to get engaged without a house." Amelia smiled faintly. But you only have 200,000, and I can only contribute 200,000 at most. That apartment costs 2 million. We'll make a down payment and I'll slowly pay off the rest. You don't look down on me for that, do you? But seriously, your family is so well off, and your parents are great people. For you to be with me when I don't even have a house, you're really making a sacrifice. Victor, don't say that. You're so good to me, you even saved my life. How could I ever look down on you? Besides, you just graduated from college. I'm sure you'll have a great future. How about this? I'll go back and talk to my parents, see if they can spare some money for us to buy the house outright. We can treat it as a loan and pay them back together in the future. A down payment isn't a good deal, but how could I ask for that? I'm a grown man. Are you still going to be so formal with me? You're right. We're going to get married someday, and then you'll be all mine. Hee, Amelia said, her cheeks flushing slightly. Victor got 1 million for the old house but lied to Amelia, telling her he only had 200,000. This way, he could trick her into getting over 1 million from her parents to buy the new place outright. What a brilliant move. Chloe suddenly scoffed. Seeing that damn couple just pisses me off. Ethan, let's go somewhere else. Any riffraff can get into this dump. I'm never coming back here again. Victor and Amelia looked over. Victor's eyes held a hidden anger, but he didn't dare to speak. Chloe, we've put up with enough from you, but you're going too far. I know Victor pursued you, but that's in the past. Why do you have to be so aggressive? Amelia stood up, ready for a confrontation. Victor pulled her back, signaling her to stop. Even if you're the sterling heiress, you can't just trample on other people's dignity, can you? The word dignity coming from your mouth is just ironic. If you're not blushing, I'm embarrassed for you. One of you is heartless, the other is blind. Calling you a damn couple is perfectly accurate. Even if I'm blind, I can still tell right from wrong, who's a good person and who's a bad one. Just the other day he was telling me he liked me, and now he's with you. For you to fall for such a fake person, which one of us is really the blind one? Chloe's presence was just as strong as Amelia's. The blind one is obviously you. Is there any comparison between Victor and Ethan? I don't think he's even qualified to shine Ethan's shoes. Look at him with that phony intellectual look. He's not even nearsighted, but he wears those stupid glasses, afraid people won't know he graduated from college. So what if he has a degree? A vain, heartless person like him will never amount to anything. Ethan may not have finished high school, but at least he's loyal and devoted. I like him. So what? Amelia's face turned pale with anger. He's loyal and devoted? I really haven't seen any evidence of that. That's why I said you're blind. Heh, is that so? Then I'd like to ask you, Miss Sterling, how exactly is Ethan loyal and devoted? And to whom? Chloe sighed in exasperation, walked over to Victor, and looked him over with interest. Victor's eyes darted around nervously. He seemed terrified of her. Miller, do you really think this scumbag is a good person? Chloe's gaze left Victor with nowhere to hide. Let me tell you the truth. When he was pursuing me, he used every trick in the book. Later, I found out he was involved with many other women, and several of them had even had abortions for him. Tell me, is a scumbag who plays with women like that not heartless? In comparison, the only person Ethan has ever liked is you. So tell me, is he not loyal and devoted? Victor quickly defended himself. Amelia, don't listen to her nonsense. I'm not that kind of person. In college, all I cared about was my studies. Where would I have found the time to deceive so many people? Amelia looked at Victor. Victor, you don't need to explain. After all these years, don't you think I know what kind of person you are? My heart twisted in pain, and I was filled with rage. Chloe, stop. You could talk until you're blue in the face, and she still wouldn't believe you. No wonder you risked your life to save her from the fire, only for her to give the credit to this scumbag. Ethan, it wasn't worth it. But don't worry, as long as you're good to me, I'll see it and remember it, she said, then proactively linked her arm with mine. I was in a good mood, but then we ran into these two. Ethan, let's go somewhere else. I had wanted to demand the rest of the money from the house sale, but Chloe dragged me away. As we were leaving, I saw a flicker of suspicion in Amelia's eyes as she looked at Victor for the first time. After everything that had happened, she must have started to realize he wasn't as upright as he seemed. But Victor was a master of disguise, and she might not be able to uncover his true nature. Not long after leaving the coffee shop, we were confronted by two tall men in black suits. Get out of the way, Chloe snapped, seemingly recognizing them. Miss Sterling, our young master would like to invite you to dinner. He insists you join him. He wants to invite me, so I have to go? What does that make me? That's ridiculous. Go back and tell Preston that I'm not interested, and besides, I already have a boyfriend. Tell him to stop bothering me. Chloe was holding my arm at the time, and the two burly men shot me a cold look. Miss Sterling, you should tell Mr. Preston that yourself, one of them said, and they moved to grab her. Chloe was no match for them and couldn't resist. Ethan, help me. I gritted my teeth and charged forward, but I was kicked to the ground before I could even do anything. The man pointed at my nose. Kid, if you don't want to die, get lost. My stubborn streak kicked in. I scrambled up, took a running leap, and used my momentum to tackle both of them to the ground. Go now. But you, I can't hold them for long. Just go, I yelled, using all my weight to pin them down. I was no match for them in a real fight, but 4 years in the mines had given me explosive strength. Chloe hesitated for a moment, then jumped in her car and sped off. The two men got up and kicked me hard a few times. "Stop hitting him, let's go after Chloe," one said, and they got in their car to chase her. Victor and Amelia came out of the coffee shop just in time to see me looking battered and bruised. Victor's face was full of scorn. "Looks like being the Sterling family's kept man isn't so easy after all. You really think Miss Sterling likes you? Humph, she's just playing with you." Amelia ran over and helped me up. "Are you okay? Where are you hurt?" "Amelia, he brought this on himself." "Don't pity him," Victor said, glaring at me and pulling Amelia away. "I'm fine. What's a little injury like this? I've had worse over the past 4 years." Amelia's brow furrowed, her eyes filled with suspicion. Victor gritted his teeth. "You deserved it. Amelia, let's go. Don't worry about him." He was clearly afraid she would find something out and quickly dragged her away. A few minutes later, as I was walking out of the shopping district, a convertible pulled up in front of me. "Ethan, are you okay? If it weren't for you back there, they would have definitely taken me." "Thank you," Chloe said, getting out of the car and looking me over carefully. I said, "I took a few kicks, but I'm fine." "Did you lose them?" Shaking them off was easy. "Come on, get in. I'll take you to the hospital for a checkup." I insisted. "I don't need to go to the hospital." "Are you sure?" Chloe stared at me. I nodded. She smiled and said, "Good, you saved me today. How should I thank you? How about I treat you to dinner?" She pushed me into the car and took me to a high-end restaurant. It was incredibly expensive, and Chloe deliberately ordered the priciest items. The meal, including drinks, came to over $10,000. "Are you full?" I was actually only half full, but the bill was so high that I said I was. Chloe took out her phone to pay, then suddenly said, "Oh no, my card is empty." She had spent nearly $20,000 on clothes for me, which I had planned to pay her back for, so I said, "This meal is on me." But Chloe just rolled her eyes at me. "Are you loaded or something? Come with me." I followed her to the door, where she suddenly grabbed my hand and said, "Run!" "What?" Before I could react, she was dragging me out the door. The restaurant staff swarmed out, shouting as they chased us. "They dared to dine and dash. Catch them, don't let them get away." We ran for 2 blocks and hid in some bushes in a park. The staff couldn't find us and eventually left, cursing. Chloe, panting, said, "Over $10,000 and they're chasing us like their lives depend on it?" I'm exhausted. "Phew. Miss Sterling, you don't think we'll be recognized, do you?" "I don't care, but if word gets out, it'll be bad for your reputation." "Do you know who owns that restaurant?" I shook my head. Chloe continued, "It's Preston. Those 2 men in black we ran into, they work for him." Finally clicked. It wasn't that she didn't have money. She never intended to pay in the first place. I couldn't help but laugh. "What are you grinning at?" Chloe asked nervously, glancing down at her chest, clearly misunderstanding. I quickly said, "Nothing. I'm just surprised an heiress would do something like this." "What's wrong with being an heiress? Aren't heiresses people?" "They're gone, let's get out of here," she said, standing up. With a ripping sound, I looked up and my jaw dropped. Chloe's knit cardigan had caught on a branch, and the zipper had slid down. We both froze. The next second, she let out a scream, quickly covering her chest, and snapped in embarrassment. "Are you still looking? Look again and I'll gouge your eyes out." I quickly averted my gaze. Chloe zipped up her cardigan and stormed out, fuming. When I followed her out, her cheeks were flushed, and she gave me a strange look. "Ethan, let me be clear. Even though you're my boyfriend now, you are absolutely not to get any ideas about me unless I say so. If you dare to lay a hand on me, I'll castrate you." "Understood. I'm just a fake one anyway. That's more like it." "Let's go," she said, linking her arm tightly with mine again. After seeing Chloe off in the afternoon, I went to the barbecue stand. Amelia's BMW was parked out front. Had Victor come to cause trouble again? A waiter came up to me. "Boss, that Miss Miller from last night is here again. She's in the private room talking with Kevin." I walked towards the private room and overheard Kevin saying from outside, "Amelia, we all grew up together. I don't think Ethan is the kind of person you think he is. There must be some misunderstanding between you two, and I can tell he still likes you. But now that you're with Victor, Ethan must be feeling pretty down." "Kevin, did you know that Ethan is already married?" Amelia asked. "What, married? Impossible," Kevin said confidently. "Ethan and I have been running this place for almost a month, and we've spent a lot of time together. If he were really married, his wife would have contacted him, right? There's no way I wouldn't know." "Amelia, who told you he was married? Was it Victor?" "Yes, they're brothers. Victor wouldn't joke about something like that, would he?" Amelia said. "Victor told me he got married a long time ago, and he even married into his wife's family. They're well off. During Victor's college years, Ethan also sent him a lot of money, which is why Ethan thinks he was the one who supported Victor's education. That's where the conflict between the 2 brothers comes from." "That's not right. When I first ran into Ethan last month, he told me that after dropping out of school, he went to the coal mines in West Virginia. He's been working as a miner there for the past 4 years. Right before he came back, there was a mine collapse, and he was almost buried alive. So his money is all hard-earned, not from mooching off some woman." "Amelia, you've really misunderstood him. A coal mine." Amelia's tone changed noticeably. Just then, a waiter shouted from outside, Mr. Hayes, customers are here. Since I'd been discovered, I just pushed the door open. Kevin, we have customers. Shouldn't you be working? Seeing my stern expression, Kevin ducked his head and went out. Miss Miller, you shouldn't come here anymore. You're not very welcome, I said, then turned to leave. Stop, Amelia shouted, blocking my path. She stared at me seriously and asked, you're really not married? Does it matter to you whether I'm married or not? Amelia's face turned pale with anger. She grabbed my hand, pried open my fingers to look at my palm, and then froze. After 4 years of manual labor, my palms were covered in thick calluses. Even after resting for so long, and with the calluses starting to peel, it was clear these were not the hands of a man who mooched off a woman. Amelia's eyes reddened. Ethan, your hands. It's the life of a hard worker, I said, pulling my hand back. You dropped out of school back then just to support your brother's education. Amelia's face was grim, her expression a mix of complex emotions, as if she had suffered a huge blow. I don't have a brother, and I don't have family. All I care about now is money. Amelia asked again, the day your house caught fire, was it really you who saved me? I sneered. Would a heartless person like me risk my life to save you? Miss Miller, you're overthinking it. The one who saved you was Victor. Only he is capable of such heroic deeds. Customers are here, I'm going to work. Feel free to do as you please. With that, I walked out with a cold expression. As Amelia left, her expression was complicated, and she kept looking back at me. The short walk of a few dozen yards took her a minute or two. Just as she left, a young man at a nearby table spoke up, get your boss over here. I turned to see a man in his late 20s, well-dressed and composed, with a faint air of aristocracy about him. I walked over and said, hello, that's me. The young man looked up at me, took a sip from his own water bottle. His fingers were long and slender, the hands of a pampered rich kid. Your name is Ethan? I nodded. Do you know who I am? I looked at him, confused. My last name is Preston. Preston? Could he be the Preston? Seeing my expression change, Preston smiled faintly. Looks like you know who I am, so let's be direct. Chloe is not a woman you can touch. Stay away from her. Name your price. So he was here to intimidate me. The truth was, my relationship with Chloe was just a deal. I'd be her boyfriend for 3 months, and she'd give me the house back. I hadn't understood why before, but now it was clear. I was her shield. But since I had agreed, I had to see it through. I said, Mr. Preston, my business with Chloe is a private matter. Preston raised an eyebrow and sneered. Anything concerning Chloe is my business to interfere in. To be honest with you, I like her too. Do you really think you have what it takes to compete with me for a woman? I'm not trying to put you down, but this rundown barbecue joint of yours, how much can you possibly make in a year? Probably not even enough for her allowance. Do you think you can support her? Name a price. As long as it's not too ridiculous, I'll agree. His condescending attitude made me very uncomfortable. I said, Mr. Preston, if you're going to put it that way, then I have to ask. If you're so rich, why doesn't Chloe want to be with you? Preston's face turned livid, and he slammed his hand on the table. Ethan, I've been polite enough with you. Don't push your luck. I'm not bragging, but I could shut down this dump of yours in a minute. You believe that? You won't listen to reason, so do you really want to go head-to-head with me?
I gave av bitter smile.
I wouldn't dare. Preston pointed at my nose. I'm giving you 3 days. If you don't cut ties with Chloe, don't blame me for what happens next. With that, he kicked over a stool and stormed out. Kevin ran over. Ethan, who was that guy? He acts like a big shot. Someone we can't afford to mess with. Kevin frowned. Really? Can Miss Sterling handle him? She's the one protecting this place, after all. I rolled my eyes at him, not bothering to say more. The restaurant got busy after that, and I forgot about the incident. 3 nights later, I was helping in the kitchen when I suddenly heard the sound of things being smashed outside. I rushed out to see about 20 men in black destroying the place. Customers were scattering, and the floor was a mess. Kevin was furious, gritting his teeth and ready to fight. I quickly stopped him. Kevin, don't be reckless. Before leaving, one of the men pointed at me. Mr. Preston said today was just a warning. If you don't do as he says next, you'll face the consequences. After they left, the remaining customers quickly dispersed. As Kevin and I were cleaning up, Chloe arrived with 7 or 8 friends. Seeing the wreckage, she asked urgently, Ethan, what happened? I shook my head. It's nothing, Kevin blurted out. Miss Sterling, our place got trashed. I shot him a glare. Chloe was furious. How dare they? Kevin, who did it? I'll make sure you get justice. Kevin stammered, looking at me. I didn't want to escalate the situation. Chloe walked up to me, fuming. Ethan, say something. Who trashed the place? Ethan, just tell Chloe. Look how worried she is. You're her boyfriend, so trashing your place is a slap in her face. How can you just let that slide? Her young friends chimed in. Kevin finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Miss Sterling, it was someone named Preston. He came to see Ethan 3 days ago and told him to stay away from you. Ethan didn't agree, so he sent people to get revenge on us. Preston? That Preston. Chloe gritted her teeth and cursed. That bastard. He's completely out of control. I smiled and said, it's not a big deal. I'll just accept it. Kevin was indignant. Ethan, how is this not a big deal? Those bastards even made threats before they left. I don't think that Preston guy is going to let you off easy. Don't worry, I'll handle this, Chloe said. After thinking for a few seconds, she turned to her friends. Don't just stand there watching. Give us a hand cleaning up. With the restaurant trashed, we closed up early. Chloe told her friends to go ahead and drove me home. I'm sorry. I didn't think Preston would actually come after you, Chloe said, her face full of apology. Didn't you want me to be your shield from the beginning? It was always a transaction. We both get what we want. So you don't need to apologize to me. I'll keep my end of the bargain, as long as you don't go back on your word. I know. I'm not an idiot, Chloe said as she drove. The truth is, Preston and I are engaged. It wasn't my idea. Our parents arranged it when we were kids. He's the fakest person I've ever met, so I have to do whatever it takes to break off the engagement. If I had known she was engaged, I never would have agreed to this. Why did you choose me to be your fake boyfriend? He's a rich kid. There's no comparison between us. Because you're loyal and devoted. That day when I was in danger, you risked yourself to save me and told me to run. Proved I wasn't wrong about you. You're not like your bastard brother, who's ungrateful, greedy, and a womanizer. He's just a scumbag. Chloe looked at me with a smile. Feel like a drink? I was feeling pretty annoyed, so I nodded. Chloe took me to a nearby bar. The drinks were strong, and by the time I realized I'd had too much, it was too late. My head was spinning. Chloe, however, was perfectly sober. She suddenly looked at me and said, "Actually, I have a way to make Preston break off the engagement himself, and it's very easy." What is it? She looked at me with a grin. We turn our fake relationship into a real one. The deed is done. Once Preston knows I've slept with you, he'll back off. A real one? The deed is done? My head was spinning badly, and I quickly shook my head. Chloe smiled and said, "Since you agree, we'll do it my way." But I was shaking my head no. The alcohol hit me hard, and I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up, it was the next morning. I was in a bed, and Chloe was sitting beside me, grinning mischievously. I had a bad feeling. I threw back the covers and saw that I was only in my underwear. "Don't bother looking. You've lost your virginity," Chloe said nonchalantly. I was instantly furious. I wake up and I've lost my virginity? Who was I supposed to complain to? "Chloe, are you out of your mind? You're a woman. Are you really that casual?" I yelled. Chloe's expression changed. She lunged forward, straddling my chest and grabbing my neck. "Who are you calling casual? I was acting. Do you understand acting? You really think I did something to you? Even if we had, I'd be the one at a disadvantage. What kind of man are you, with no sense of tenderness? You even hurt me." Bang! The door flew open. It was a hotel employee, and behind them stood a middle-aged couple. The woman was elegant and poised, the man in a sharp suit, exuding an air of authority. My first instinct was to cover myself with the blanket as I looked at Chloe in a panic. Chloe's face went pale. She quickly jumped off the bed, lowered her head, and mumbled, "Dad, Mom." My heart sank. I was screwed. I was so scared I could barely breathe. "Chloe," her mother said, looking at the messy bed, at a loss for words. Chloe's hands were still tightly around my neck. My head was throbbing. "Miss, I'm the casual one. Happy now?" Chloe pouted. "Not happy. What I want to hear is..." Her father's face was grim. "You didn't come home last night. You were here with him the whole time." Chloe kept her head down and gave a soft hum. Her father, furious, raised his hand to strike her. I quickly said, "Mr. Sterling, Mrs. Sterling, please don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between Chloe and me." Chloe shot back, "Mom, Dad, he's lying. We already slept together." She turned to glare at me. "Ethan, are you even a man? You have the guts to bring me to a hotel room but not the guts to admit it? I'm so disappointed in you." I wanted to cry but had no tears. Who brought whom to the hotel room? I tried to explain again, but her father roared, "Chloe, you've brought shame upon our entire family. You get yourself home right now and stop embarrassing us." Her father looked like he was about to hit her again, but Chloe hid behind her mother. Her mother gave me a complicated look and said to her husband, "What's done is done. Hitting her won't change anything. You're still defending her. If you hadn't spoiled her, would she have done something like this? If word of this gets back to the Preston family, how are we supposed to explain it?" Her father fumed, storming off. "Mom, I don't like Preston. Everyone knows he's a playboy. I don't want to marry someone like him. The one I like is him, Ethan. If I'm going to marry anyone, I'll marry Ethan," Chloe said, pointing at me. Her mother sighed helplessly. "Chloe, even if you don't want to marry Preston, you can't resort to this. You're a young woman. You need to have some self-respect." Chloe said nonchalantly, "I know, Mom, but I just really like Ethan." I couldn't help myself. I was speechless with frustration. Now all the blame was on me. Her mother, looking completely exasperated, told her to get dressed and wait outside. After her mother left, Chloe had a triumphant smile on her face. "Ethan, when you see my mom later, no matter what she says, you just tell her you like me and you insist on being with me. If you dare say a single word out of line, you can forget about getting your family's house back. You planned this, didn't you? You deliberately had your parents find us at the hotel, so they would misunderstand." "Yep, aren't I smart?" Chloe grinned at me. I was so angry I could only roll my eyes. We walked out of the hotel, and her mother was standing under a tree. I was walking slowly, but Chloe pulled me along. Walk faster. What are you afraid of? My mom's not going to eat you. Mom, we're here. Ethan, aren't you going to greet her? Mrs. Sterling, hello? My name is Ethan, I said, forcing the words out. I already know your name. Chloe, you go wait in the car. I'd like to speak with Ethan alone. Well, talk then. As Chloe left, she shot me a look, as if to remind me of my lines. Once she was gone, her mother sized me up and asked, how long have you known Chloe? When did you two become a couple? I hope you'll answer me truthfully. Can you do that? Answer truthfully? For the sake of the house, I had to play along with Chloe. We've known each other for a long time, but we only recently became a couple. Her mother stared at me intently, and I pretended to nod with certainty. Do you know that Chloe is engaged? I do. Since you know she's engaged, why are you still with her, playing with her feelings? Mrs. Sterling, I'm not playing with her feelings. No, her mother gave a slight smile. So you're saying you genuinely like my Chloe? At this point, I had no choice but to say, yes, I like her. You don't mind her appearance? Or are you after something else? Her mother's gaze felt like it could see right through me, making my heart race. I said, Mrs. Sterling, Chloe isn't ugly at all. Her features are beautiful, and I'm not after the Sterling family's money. But Chloe has a birthmark over her left eye. I smiled faintly, but she's a good person. Her mother was silent for a few seconds. So you two are determined to be together? I know Chloe doesn't agree to that marriage, but it's a family arrangement, and there's nothing I can do to change it. If you really want to be with Chloe, then you need to find a way to handle her engagement to Preston. Consider this a test for you. I said nothing because we were just acting. Her mother took Chloe away. Later, Chloe called to ask how it went. I recounted the conversation, and she was very pleased, saying with a giggle, well done. There's a reward for you next time I see you. When's next time? Didn't your dad ground you? My dad was just saying that because he was angry. He's actually the one who spoils me the most. If all goes well, I'll be free this afternoon. After hanging up, I went to Kevin's place to catch up on sleep. In the afternoon, we went to the barbecue stand together. Ethan, what were you up to last night? You look so tired today, Kevin said, wiggling his eyebrows. Did you spend a romantic night with Miss Sterling? Ethan, you're my idol. I'm so impressed. Don't forget to teach me how to win over girls later. Don't talk nonsense. It's no big deal for me, but if word gets out, it could really affect Chloe's reputation. Ethan, you're so concerned about her. You haven't actually fallen for Miss Sterling, have you? But I guess it's normal. She's so rich and good-looking, it's natural to develop feelings over time. I thought to myself, how could that be possible? It was all just an act. After the restaurant was trashed last night, we replaced the tables and chairs, but business was clearly worse. By dusk, we only had 2 tables. I had Kevin call our regular customers and tell them everything was on the house today. I had just sat down and poured a glass of water when I suddenly heard Victor's voice. Ethan, what the hell did you say to Amelia? You bastard, you just can't stand to see me happy, can you? I was caught off guard as he kicked me over. Victor rushed forward, kicked me a few more times, and then picked up a stool to smash me with. I quickly rolled away and got to my feet. When it came to a fight, I was definitely not afraid of him. Consumed by rage, I started fighting back. Kevin rushed out to break it up, forcing us apart. Victor, Ethan, you're brothers. Can't you just sit down and talk things out instead of trying to kill each other? What's the point of this? I can't talk to this bastard. Kevin, get out of the way. I'm going to teach him a lesson. My face was grim, and I wasn't about to back down either. Amelia's BMW was parked by the road. Kevin quickly said, Amelia, you're just in time. Stop them. I can't hold them back. Amelia walked over, and seeing the bruises on both our faces, she gritted her teeth in anger. Go on, keep fighting. Why did you stop? Wouldn't it be better if you just beat each other to death? Amelia, Ethan is full of lies. Don't listen to his nonsense, Victor said, pointing at me. Amelia glanced at me. Victor, don't just blame Ethan. Are you completely innocent? Ethan spent 4 years working in a coal mine to support your education, and you told people he was a kept man who married into a rich family. You're his older brother. Those words shouldn't have come from your mouth, should they? Victor was suddenly at a loss for words. I found out later that word had gotten back to Amelia's parents. They had originally planned to help Victor buy a house but changed their minds, probably because they found him unreliable. That's why Victor was so furious and came looking for trouble with me. Amelia said, my parents only said they wouldn't pay for the house in full right now. They didn't say they disapprove of us being together. Why are you so resentful? If you think my parents are treating you badly, then we can just break up. Hearing that, Victor immediately backed down and started sweet-talking Amelia. I could sense that her attitude towards him was no longer as compliant as it used to be. Seeing that she had calmed down, Victor took her hand. Amelia, I won't be so impulsive anymore. I'll control my temper. Please forgive me this one time, okay? Let's go. I never want to come back to this place again. Victor tried to lead Amelia away. Trying to leave? I don't think it's that easy. Amelia was clearly taken aback. Victor spun around, glaring at me murderously. Ethan, what more do you want? I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of you. If Kevin and Amelia hadn't stopped me today, I would have beaten you to a pulp. I sneered dismissively. Oh really? Should we set a time to settle this then? Seeing things were escalating, Kevin said to me, Ethan, just let it go. Let's de-escalate. Besides, you're brothers. Why do you have to be at each other's throats? Kevin, you don't understand the situation, so stay out of it. Victor gritted his teeth in anger. Amelia said, Kevin might not understand the situation, but I do, right? I admit Victor shouldn't have come looking for trouble, but he's already apologized. What more do you want? You should be forgiving. Don't forget your brothers. Be forgiving? Heh, I could forgive him, but who the hell is going to forgive me? I treated him like a brother, but what did he treat me as? A money-making tool? A stepping stone? Amelia, do you have any idea how annoying you are right now? Just shut up. Amelia's face turned ugly.
I'm annoying.
Fine. Since you've said that, I'll be even more annoying for you. If you dare to lay a single finger on Victor today, I'm not done with you. Seeing Amelia stand up for him, Victor shot me a provocative sneer. I was about to explode and jumped up, ready to fight. Kevin quickly wrapped his arms around me tightly. Ethan, don't be reckless. I struggled hard, my eyes bloodshot. Not only did Amelia not leave, she said to Kevin, Kevin, let him go. Let's see what he can do to us today. Having a backer really changes a person, huh? Ready to fight at the drop of a hat. Do you even know who you are anymore? Victor fanned the flames. Ethan, ever since you met Chloe, you've completely changed. You've disowned your family, and now you're a kept man. Is money really that important to you? Sigh, if mom and dad knew what you've become, they would be so disappointed. Don't you dare mention our parents, you're not worthy. I completely lost control, broke free from Kevin, and lunged forward, knocking Victor to the ground with a single punch. Ethan, I'm going to kill you. Victor scrambled up, ready to fight, and I clenched my fists tightly. Amelia stomped her foot in frustration. Enough. Ethan, so you supported Victor through a few years of school, so what? If he doesn't pay you back, he'll never be able to hold his head high, and you'll never let him forget it. Just say it, how much did he spend of yours? I'll pay you back for him. I couldn't control my temper when talking to him. 50,000 a year, that's 200,000 for 4 years. Hand it over. Amelia, also furious, took a bank card from her purse and threw it at my feet. You can check it right now, it's 200,000, not a penny less. Remember, from now on, Victor owes you nothing, and you are not to bring this up again. That 200,000 was meant to help Victor buy a house. He wasn't about to let me have it easily and snatched it up first. Amelia, this is your money. What I owe him, I will pay back one day. Victor, if you hadn't told me to drop out and work, I'd be graduating from college soon too. You told me that if I just supported you through your studies, you would never let me down. And what's the result? Is this how you repay me? Victor, you ruined my life. What can you possibly do to repay that? Can you ever repay it? But Victor refused to admit it. Stop making things up. I was the one who said I would go work to support your education, but by the time I found out, you had already dropped out. And now you're blaming me? Ethan, are you even human? I never thought he would twist the story like that. I knew you wouldn't admit it. It's been 4 years, so let's just forget it. But let me ask you again, how much did you really sell the house for? 400,000 or $1 million? Victor's eyes darted around nervously. Of course it was 400,000. Who would believe a burned-down house sold for $1 million? I laughed in fury. Oh, Victor, Victor. The house clearly sold for $1 million. You gave me 200,000 and pocketed 800,000 for yourself. I glared at Amelia. You wanted to pay his debts for him, right? Then pay me for this too. Amelia looked at Victor, half believing, half doubting. Victor quickly said, Amelia, you're going to believe someone like him? The house really only sold for 400,000. Every word I'm saying is true. Amelia said, the house was so badly burned. Getting 400,000 for it is already a good deal. Victor nodded emphatically. Exactly. So when he says it sold for $1 million, he's just talking nonsense. Oh, really? A familiar voice cut in. It was Chloe. She gave Amelia a mocking look. You scumbag, you have no shame. Do I have to show you the sales contract for you to admit the house sold for $1 million? Fine, I'll grant your wish. Chloe took out her phone and pulled up the digital contract. Open your damn eyes and see for yourself. Does the contract say 1 million or 400,000? Victor completely panicked, his face turning ashen. Amelia snatched the phone and stared at it, her expression slowly changing to one of utter disbelief. Is this contract real? Amelia, I just wanted to have a little more money for a new house. Victor, how could you do this? I never forced you to buy a house. If we don't have money, we can earn it. Why would you do this? You've disappointed me so much. Amelia, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. I'll give him the 300,000 I owe him right now. Victor was smart. When he couldn't argue his way out, he offered to pay up to win her forgiveness. Although Amelia no longer trusted him as she once did, she was still being deceived by him. After transferring the money, Victor took Amelia's hand, ready to leave. Amelia slapped the bank card on the table. From now on, you and Victor are even. He doesn't owe you anything anymore. Miller, I never used to believe the phrase all beauty, no brains. But since meeting you, I'm a firm believer. After everything that's happened recently, you're still defending that scumbag. It's pathetic. Amelia stopped and asked, what are you trying to say? Victor didn't dare let Chloe say another word and quickly dragged Amelia away. Chloe shook her head helplessly. I've seen dumb women, but I've never seen one this dumb. Kevin was completely confused. Miss Sterling, did Victor do something else to wrong Ethan? I really never thought Victor was that kind of person, to even pocket the money from the house sale. I used to think Ethan was in the wrong, but now I finally see Victor's true character. Chloe patted Kevin's shoulder. Using the word character to describe him is an insult to the word. To be blunt, that bastard is worse than an animal. Kevin frowned deeply, his eyes wide with surprise. By the way, from now on, don't call me Miss Sterling. Just call me Chloe. Your buddy Ethan and I already got a room last night, Chloe said, giving me a flirtatious glance and pretending to be shy. Really? Ethan has been acting weird all day. I asked him if he'd gotten a room with you, and he denied it. Chloe, Ethan is a really good guy, definitely not like Victor. You'll be happy with him. I wish you both the best. Do you think I need you to tell me what kind of person he is? I know what I'm doing. We have customers, go take care of them. I need to have a word with Ethan. Chloe pulled me into a private room, closed the door, and moved closer as she asked, seeing your beloved Amelia defend Victor like that, does it break your heart? But I pretended it didn't bother me. From now on, he's him, I'm me. We're strangers, and we'll stay that way. Oh, really? Chloe got closer and closer, until she was almost touching me, and I instinctively backed away. Do you know what your biggest weakness is? You can't control your emotions. Everything you feel is written all over your face. I was speechless. I know it's impossible for you to forget her overnight, so I won't force you. But you need to remember that you are my boyfriend now. If you dare to do anything to betray me, I guarantee your fate will be worse than Victor's. I frowned. Miss, there's no one else here. You can stop acting now, right? What act? I'm serious. We already got a room last night. Are you trying to deny it? Chloe took a large step forward, and I stumbled back until my back was against the wall with nowhere to go. I quickly said, but nothing happened last night. Who says? Chloe pointed at me angrily. You were drunk last night and got handsy. If I hadn't fought you off, you would have done it. Even though you didn't succeed, you still looked and you still touched. What's the difference between that and actually sleeping together? My face flushed red with shame, but I was also full of doubt. Got handsy? Looked and touched? How come I couldn't remember anything? Seeing my silence, Chloe said with a seductive look in her eyes, you can't rush things. As long as you're good to me, won't I be yours sooner or later? Her gaze was captivating, her red lips alluring, and made my blood boil, but I knew Chloe was not a woman I could ever touch. Just as I was about to speak, Chloe suddenly kissed me. It was just a light peck, but the electric feeling made the hair on my arms stand on end. Chloe's cheeks were flushed, her eyes moist. She whispered, you did well in front of my mom today. Consider that kiss your reward. My mind went completely blank. Chloe added, I showed the contract today, so Victor must have guessed I was the buyer. There's no need to hide it anymore. I'm giving the house to you. Find someone to renovate it and you can move in. But you promised to be my boyfriend for 3 months, and you can't go back on your word, or I'll take the house back. The next morning, Chloe brought a contractor to see me. After looking at the house, the man said, Miss Sterling, the fire damage is quite severe. A full renovation will cost at least $200,000. Just do a good job. You don't need to worry about the money. The contractor bowed obsequiously. I wouldn't dare to neglect a job from you, Miss Sterling. I'll go back and prepare the materials now and aim to start work tomorrow. After the contractor left, Chloe let out a long sigh of relief. Phew, that's finally settled. Now that the house was back in my possession, I could finally relax. To others, Chloe might seem like a spoiled, willful heiress, but to me, she had a good heart. At least she had been genuinely good to me. People aren't made of stone, and I was truly grateful to her. I said, Miss Sterling, I can only give you $500,000 right now. I'll pay you half now, and the rest when I earn more money. At the time, I had $800,000 in hand, $200,000 from Amelia, and $500,000 from my share of the house sale. I handed Chloe the card with the $500,000. Chloe glanced at me. What are you doing? You spent $1 million on the house, and now you're giving it back to me. I'll pay you half now and the rest later. I needed money, and I liked money, but I couldn't accept money I hadn't earned. You probably don't even make $500,000 a year from your barbecue stand, right? And you're just giving it to me so easily? You don't regret it? Chloe asked, staring at me. I smiled faintly and shook my head. A good man loves wealth, but he obtains it through righteous means. I might not be a good man, but I'm not a villain either. If it were Victor, he would never have given me the $500,000. This just proves my judgment was right, Chloe said, telling me to take the card back. She said she didn't need the money, and it was a fair trade, so I didn't have to pay her back. But I didn't think it was fair. $1 million just for being her boyfriend for 3 months? I wasn't worth that much. Coincidentally, I suddenly heard Kevin and Amelia's voices from outside. Amelia, I honestly don't know what happened between Ethan and Victor. I've asked Ethan, but he never says a word. But Chloe said something last night that I remember clearly. She said Victor was worse than an animal. Chloe? You mean that, Chloe? Yeah. Chloe said she and Ethan already got a room together, so I can't call her Miss Sterling anymore. Amelia, what's wrong? You look pale. Are you not feeling well? I'm fine. After a long pause, Amelia finally said, Kevin, are they really a couple? Of course they are. Chloe told me herself they got a room. She wouldn't lie about something like that, right? Kevin said. Amelia, I used to think the conflict between Ethan and Victor was Ethan's fault, but lately I've realized it's probably Victor who wronged him. You've definitely misunderstood Ethan. Maybe, but it doesn't matter anymore. Kevin, I have to go. Don't tell Ethan I came looking for you, okay? Okay, I won't. Amelia, let me walk you out. No need. As Amelia walked past the gate, she subconsciously glanced into the yard where Chloe and I were standing. She paused for a moment, her cold gaze sweeping over me, then strode away. Ethan, Chloe. Kevin was clearly startled to see us. He scratched his head and walked in with a goofy grin. Ethan, Chloe, what a coincidence. Chloe gestured with her chin in the direction Amelia had left and asked Kevin with a smirk, what did Miller want with you? And nothing. Hey, Ethan, we're out of ingredients at the restaurant. I'm gonna go buy some. Kevin tried to slip away but was yanked back by Chloe, who shook a small fist at him. Kevin, my fists have been feeling a little itchy lately. What do you think I should do about it? Kevin's brow furrowed, and he quickly said, Chloe, Amelia was asking me about Ethan and Victor, but I don't know anything, so I didn't say anything. Chloe scoffed. She wants her cake and to eat it too. What a little sweetheart. Kevin, if she comes looking for you again, you tell her that Ethan and I have already been intimate, and she should give up. You're single too, right? If you do as I say, I'll introduce you to some rich, pretty girls when I get the chance. Kevin's face lit up. Chloe, I'll do whatever you say. Just tell me what to do. All right, go take care of things at the restaurant. Kevin scurried away happily. The construction crew started the next day, working quickly and meticulously. The next few days were peaceful. Victor didn't come to cause trouble, and Preston seemed to have forgotten about it. Chloe came to the barbecue stand whenever she was free, even trying to help out during busy times, but being so pampered, she was more of a hindrance than a help. A few afternoons later, I was riding my bike to open the restaurant when I was stopped by a few tattooed young men at the end of the alley. The bald leader looked familiar. He was the one who had caused trouble at the stand. They were clearly up to no good. Before I could turn around, they grabbed me. Unarmed, I was no match for them. They shoved me into a van and took me to Metro Motors used cars. In a shabby office, a man in his early 40s with a dark complexion sat in the boss's chair. He wore prayer beads around his neck, rolled walnuts in his hand, and had a fierce look in his eyes. The bald guy said this was the owner, Leo 6 Vargas, and told me to call him Mr. Vargas. I stubbornly refused, and the bald guy raised his fist to hit me. Leo suddenly said, Todd, wait. The bald guy, Todd, stepped back and sat on the sofa to drink some water. You're Ethan. Leo walked over. He was half a head shorter than me but very muscular. I hear you've got powerful connections. That your relationship with the Sterling Corporation's heiress is something special. I knew he was up to no good and I was probably in for a beating, so I used Chloe's name to try and intimidate him. I said, since you already know, why don't you just send me back? Damn it, is that how you talk to Leo? Todd glared at me angrily. Leo laughed it off. The Sterling Corporation is powerful, and it's true I can't afford to mess with them, but I do have a professional code. Take the money, do the job. So he was working for someone else. The person who hired him had to be powerful. My first thought was Preston. I mustered my courage and said, if you dare to touch me, Chloe will never let you get away with it. The young man slammed the table and jumped up, looking fiercely loyal. Leo asked with a smirk, Ethan, don't you want to know who's after you? Who else could it be but Preston? You know Preston? Leo was surprised for a moment. When I didn't answer, he continued, you're overthinking it. The person who hired me to take care of you wasn't him. It was your brother, Victor. Victor? A mix of emotions churned inside me. Blood is thicker than water, yet he had hired someone to get revenge on me. Leo opened a drawer and took out $20,000 in cash. Here, this is what Victor paid me. There's another $10,000 after the job is done. He only has one request, to put you in the hospital for half a month. Since I took his money, I have to do the job, right? As soon as he finished speaking, several of his men rushed in with wrenches, waiting for his command. It would be a lie to say I wasn't scared. My heart was racing. I thought there was no escaping this beating. Leo looked at me for about 10 seconds, then said, how about this? You call the Sterling heiress right now. If you can convince me your relationship is special, I'll let you go. Like I said, I can't afford to mess with the Sterlings. $20,000 isn't worth pissing her off. You get what I mean? He didn't believe I was close with Chloe and wanted me to prove it with a phone call. I quickly seized the opportunity and dialed her number. Missing me already? Want to get a room again tonight? Chloe joked as soon as she answered. I had it on speakerphone. Leo heard every word clearly, and his face changed. He quickly started giving me apologetic looks and fawning smiles, clearly intimidated. I didn't mention being captured, just made some small talk and hung up. Leo wiped the sweat from his brow, sent his men out, and pulled me down to sit, bowing and scraping. My friend, you're a real one, a stand-up guy. Thanks a lot. If I had told Chloe, she would have definitely come to cause trouble, which would have been difficult for Leo to handle, so he was grateful. Seeing his friendly attitude, I said, it was just a misunderstanding, no need to blow it out of proportion. We can say we got to know each other through this conflict. Well said, we got to know each other through conflict. My friend, If you think I'm worth it, feel free to ask for my help anytime in the future. To be honest, I've built up some connections in Riverton over the years. Whether it's legitimate or underworld business, I know people. I gave a token nod. I'm sure I'll need to trouble you in the future, Mr. Vargas. No trouble at all. Asking for my help is a sign of respect. By the way, my friend, have some tea while I make a call. Leo dialed a number in front of me and put it on speaker. The call connected. Mr. Vargas, how did it go? It was Victor's voice. Leo chuckled. Take the money, do the job. In Riverton, as long as the price is right, there's nothing I can't handle. The job you asked for is done. When are you bringing the other 10,000? Really? You live up to your reputation, Mr. Vargas. A real stand-up guy. I'll bring the money over right away, half an hour at most. After hanging up, Leo smiled at me. My friend, that brother of yours is a real piece of work. They say blood is thicker than water, but he sure doesn't treat you like a brother. My face was grim, and I was filled with rage. Victor had actually paid someone to hurt me. That was worse than what an enemy would do. I said, Mr. Vargas, since he's bringing you the money, you should just take it. I don't want to see him, so I'll be going. Leo stopped me. Hey, my friend, don't be in such a hurry to leave. That bastard Victor told me you just knew the sterling heiress, that you weren't close. Good thing I was cautious, or he would have really screwed me over. When he gets here, I'm gonna teach him a lesson, and let you get some payback too. A short while later, Todd came in. Boss, that guy Victor is here. A familiar BMW pulled in. Victor got out of the passenger seat. Amelia was driving. She must have been kept in the dark. She would never pay someone to hurt me. Todd, take him to the next room. Don't waste time talking. Just teach him a lesson first. Todd went out. A few minutes later, Victor's screams came from the next room. The prefab walls were thin, so I could hear everything clearly. My stomach tightened. Leo saw my expression and smiled. My friend, don't worry. It's just a lesson. Nothing serious will happen. Wanna go take a look? I shook my head. Leo got up and went out. Mr. Vargas, what is the meaning of this? I brought you the money, and you have your men beat me up, Victor yelled. Beating you is getting off easy. You should be grateful. Leo scoffed. I'm keeping the money, but as for the job you hired me for, I can't do it. Todd, throw this bastard out. As soon as he finished, Amelia's voice rang out. Victor, are you okay? What right do you have to hit him? This is completely lawless. Well, look at this pretty little thing. Who are you to him? Leo sneered. Todd picked them up as a couple. I saw them that night. Boss, if you're interested, maybe we could. Heh, what do you think you're doing? Get away from me. Amelia snapped. I shot to my feet and had just reached the door when Leo said, Todd, what nonsense are you talking? We live in a society of laws. We can't do anything illegal. Amelia was indignant. And beating someone up isn't illegal? Leo said, Miss, which eye of yours saw us hit him? He fell down by accident. If you don't believe me, ask him yourself. Isn't that right? That's ridiculous. Can you get that beat up from just falling? Victor, let's call the police. Leo laughed dismissively. Ask him if he dares to call the police. Victor had hired someone to assault me. How could he call the police? He quickly said, Amelia, I'm fine. It was just a misunderstanding. Let's go. Victor, what are you afraid of? This is a lawful society. What they did was illegal. Amelia insisted on calling the police, but Victor still didn't dare. Leo, Todd, and the others all burst out laughing. See, miss? It's not that I'm stopping you from calling the police. It's that he doesn't dare. Since that's the case, get lost. A short while later, Amelia helped Victor away. Leo returned to the office, took the $10,000, and handed it to me along with the $20,000 from the table. My friend, this $30,000 is for you. Let's be friends. I might not be as smooth as Victor, but I wasn't a complete fool. I said, that money is from Victor to you, I can't take it. I'm just grateful that you let me off easy today, Mr. Vargas. Leo's face beamed. Since you're so generous, my friend, I'll accept it for now. I hear you opened a barbecue joint. I'll just use this money to be a customer at your place. Haha, I refused. Todd got me a cab back to the barbecue stand. I didn't want to get too involved with people from the criminal underworld. To my surprise, as soon as I got back to the restaurant, Amelia showed up, her face furious. Ethan, so it was you who paid off those thugs from the used car lot. I saw you coming out of there. Don't even try to deny it. Before I could even react, she slapped me. That slap completely ignited my fury. My eyes turned cold as I grabbed her wrist and dragged her towards a private room. Amelia got scared and started stammering. Ethan, let go of me. What are you doing? Let me go. Kevin, help me. Kevin rushed in. Ethan, what are you doing? We're all friends here. Just talk it out. Don't get physical. What am I doing? I'm going to deal with this little sweetheart today. She's always against me, and I've had enough. I shoved Amelia into the private room and slammed the door shut. Kevin yelled from outside, you can't do that, you can't. She's Victor's girlfriend. I was so angry I lost all reason. Like a crazed animal, I lunged forward and pinned Amelia down on the sofa. Kevin was still banging on the door, telling me not to be reckless. Amelia was terrified, her body rigid. Her face was flushed, her eyes furious, and she screamed at me, Ethan, you're insane. Let me go. I wasn't listening. Ethan, you're playing with fire. You really can't do this. If you don't come out, I'm kicking the door in. Hey, Kevin, what are you doing? Where's Ethan? Miller's car is outside too. Where are they? It was Chloe. A shiver ran through me, and my lust was instantly extinguished. Kevin stammered, Chloe, what are you doing here? Ethan missed me, so I came to find him. Where is he? Ethan isn't at the restaurant. Really? I'm looking for him too. Kevin, look at you, you can't even lie properly. Now tell me, where is he? Is he in the private room? Get out of my way. Amelia quickly pushed me off, brushed my hands away, and straightened her clothes. Chloe kicked the door open. Seeing Amelia, flushed and disheveled, Chloe instantly understood and flew into a rage. You little sweetheart, one man isn't enough for you? You dare to come and seduce Ethan. He's mine. You seduce my man, and I'll make you pay. Chloe charged forward like a wildcat. I had no choice but to step in and block her, yelling to Kevin, Kevin, stop staring. Get Amelia out of here. Ethan, you're helping her instead of me? You're a bastard too. I'll kill you. Chloe lost control, and when she couldn't hurt me, she opened her mouth and bit down hard on my shoulder. I broke out in a cold sweat from the pain. In that moment, Kevin managed to escort Amelia out. Hearing the sound of a car engine fading away, I let go of Chloe's hands, but she still wouldn't let go of my shoulder. I winced. Lady, if you don't let go, you're going to take a chunk out of me. Chloe mumbled. A chunk of what? I'd rather cut off that chunk between your legs. Kevin, bring me a knife. I'm going to castrate him. As she spoke, her teeth shifted in my flesh, sending a sharp pain deep into my bones. Kevin came back and saw this, his jaw dropping. Chloe, Ethan, you two are just flirting. I won't be a third wheel. I'll go get busy outside, he said, then quickly disappeared. Seeing she still wouldn't let go, I got desperate and reached for her armpits. It was a silly move, but it worked. Chloe reflexively jumped back, baring her teeth like an angry little bull. I lost my nerve and quickly said, Chloe, listen to me. It's not what you think. Not what I think. Then what is it? If I hadn't shown up when I did, you two would have done it right here in this dump. Ethan, oh Ethan, I never realized you were just like your brother. No wonder you came from the same womb. You're both cut from the same cloth. Chloe cursed. I shrank back. But then I thought, this was just a transaction. What was I afraid of? I puffed out my chest and said, Chloe, that's enough. Don't take it too far. If word gets out, people might actually think we're a couple. Aren't we? Chloe's face was red with anger, her eyes bloodshot. Don't forget I kissed you that day. If I didn't see you as my boyfriend, why would I have kissed you? Because I'm desperate? Let me tell you, I am not that kind of casual person. I was petrified. Had this woman actually fallen for me? How was that possible? I was poor and had nothing. How could she possibly be interested in me? Ethan, I'm giving you a few minutes to think about how you're going to explain this. Chloe stormed out, fuming. I took a moment to calm down. When I went out, I saw Chloe leaning on a table, complaining to Kevin. Kevin, I've been good to Ethan, haven't I? So why would he betray me? It seems you can't spoil a man. The more you spoil him, the more he takes you for granted. Kevin, I can't let this go. Will you help me? Later, you hold him down and I'll chop off that thing between his legs. After it's done, I'll introduce you to some rich, pretty girls. A shiver ran down my spine. Kevin asked cautiously, Chloe, the rich, pretty girls, are they really rich and pretty? Kevin, I snapped. Seeing me, Kevin quickly put on a goofy smile. Ethan, we were just kidding. You two talk. I'm going to go skewer some meat, he said, then scurried away. I walked up to Chloe. Her eyes were red and moist, like a wronged lover. My heart softened, and I said apologetically, Chloe, I really lost my mind just now. She's always causing trouble for me, so I just wanted to scare her. Scare her? How can you even say that? Scaring a woman like that, and you still dare to claim you're innocent. I mean, if I really wanted to do something with her, I wouldn't have done it at the barbecue stand, right? Chloe scoffed. When you're that horny, do you even care where you are? No matter what I said, Chloe wouldn't buy it. I finally just sat down with an expression that said, do what you want with me. After a while, Chloe calmed down, grabbed my ear and lectured, since it was your first time, and that little sweetheart came looking for you, I'll let you off the hook for now. But if there's a next time, I'll definitely chop you up. After that incident, I didn't see Amelia for many days. I thought about explaining, but then decided against it. If it meant she would stop bothering me, maybe it wasn't such a bad thing. Chloe, on the other hand, was the same as always, coming to find me often. At first, I was uncomfortable, but over time, I found she was actually easy to get along with, as long as you understood her temper. But I always reminded myself to keep my distance. During this time, the house renovation was completed. I bought some furniture and moved back in from Aunt May's. There's no place like home. I tried to give Aunt May money to thank her, but she firmly refused. Later, I bought some groceries and invited her and her daughter over for a barbecue. After dinner, just as it was getting dark, I said, Aunt May, I'll give you a ride home on my bike. Aunt May looked at my electric bike and shook her head with a smile. It's not far, we can walk back ourselves. Ethan, thank you for the wonderful hospitality. It was much later that I understood. Men and women are different, and Aunt May didn't want to be seen with me giving her a ride. After seeing Aunt May and her daughter off, I was clearing the table when two vans suddenly pulled up. A dozen burly men jumped out and, without a word, started smashing everything. Kevin and I were furious. We saw red and started fighting back. In the middle of the brawl, a man's voice called out from a distance. They dare to cause trouble at my friend's place. Todd, go help him out. I turned to see Leo Vargas arriving with Todd and a few of his men. They were good fighters, especially Todd, who took down 3 or 4 of the thugs in the blink of an eye. Leo shouted to me, "My friend, don't be afraid. I'm here to back you up." Despite his words, he didn't join the fight himself. After all, he was the boss and had to maintain his image. A few minutes later, Kevin and I were bruised, and Todd's crew had taken some hits, but the other thugs hadn't gotten the upper hand either. Seeing the tide turn, they tried to make a run for it. "Todd, stop them. Don't let them get away," Leo commanded grimly. A man with short hair recognized Leo. "Do you know who we're working for?" Leo's face was stern. He waved his hand dismissively. "I don't care who you're working for. My friend is a friend of Leo Vargas. Causing trouble here is a sign of disrespect to me. You want to test me?" The short-haired man narrowed his eyes. "Leo Vargas, we've all heard of you. We know you used to be a big name in the Riverton underworld. But don't forget, times have changed. The old ways don't work anymore. To be honest with you, we were sent by young Mr. Preston of the Preston family." Hearing Mr. Preston, Leo's expression changed dramatically. "Preston? Who else could it be?" The short-haired man scoffed, his face full of disdain. "Leo Vargas, are you really thinking of going against Mr. Preston? It's not that I, Todd, look down on you, but in Mr. Preston's eyes, you're just trash." I had already guessed they were sent by Preston. A look of fear flashed across Leo's face. He glanced at me, then gritted his teeth and said, "I'll say it again, my friend is my friend. Since I'm here, I can't just stand by and do nothing." "Fine. Leo Vargas, remember what you said. We'll settle this another day. Let's go, boys." Todd and his men left. Leo let out a long breath and pulled me into a private room. After closing the door, he wiped the sweat from his brow. "My friend, were they really sent by Preston? You have a feud with him?" "A small disagreement." Leo sighed heavily, his face mournful. "My friend, I'm in big trouble this time. Preston is not someone a guy like me can afford to offend. The Preston family is just as powerful as the Sterlings. If he comes after me, I'm finished. What am I going to do?" I thought to myself, you can stop complaining. I can't even protect myself. Leo glanced at me again. "My friend, the only way out of this now is to call the Sterling heiress. She's the only one who can sort this out. I'm begging you, you can't just leave me to hang." I was taken aback. "My friend, I'm actually a decent guy. You'll see over time. In our line of work, loyalty is everything." After thinking it over, I realized I had no choice but to call Chloe. For one, Leo had helped me. For another, if I didn't handle this, Preston wouldn't let me off the hook either. I called her and explained the situation. Before long, Chloe arrived with several bodyguards in black suits. The moment she saw me, she asked, "Ethan, are you okay? Are you badly hurt? Do you need to go to the hospital?" I waved my hand. "It's just scrapes and bruises. Nothing serious." "That bastard Preston. I should have known he'd come after you again. It's my fault for not thinking it through. I should have sent people to protect you," Chloe said, her face full of self-blame, and her eyes held a hint of genuine concern. Leo was all smiles. "My friend, this must be the heiress of the Sterling Corporation, right?" Chloe glanced at him. "Ethan, who is he?" I quickly said, "This is Leo Vargas. If he hadn't shown up just now to stop those guys, the place would have been trashed again." "When did you meet him? How come I didn't know about this?" Chloe asked, looking at me suspiciously. I mumbled a vague reply. Leo quickly chimed in. "Miss Sterling, I offended Preston by helping my friend Ethan just now. He's definitely not going to let me off. I'm begging you to work your magic and keep me safe." Chloe glanced at him. "You only remember helping Ethan, but you seem to have forgotten your men causing trouble here a few days ago." Leo looked embarrassed. "Todd was blind and disrespected my friend. I'll make sure he treats him to a nice dinner and apologizes in person another day." I said, "Like they say, sometimes you get to know people through conflict. Let's just forget about the past." Leo shot me a grateful look. Chloe sat on the sofa, lost in thought for a long time, then suddenly said to me, "Ethan, do you dare to go confront Preston with me? I've got nothing to lose." "What's there to be afraid of?" "Who says you have nothing to lose? You've got me, don't you? Since you're not afraid, let's go," Chloe said, rolling her eyes at me before getting up to leave. Leo stopped me. "My friend, that Preston is no gentleman. Just in case something happens, you should let Todd and his guys watch your back." I thought for a second and nodded. "All right, thanks for the trouble." Around 9 o'clock that night, Chloe parked her car outside a private club and told me Preston was the owner. Chloe led me and 4 bodyguards into the lobby. "Go ask if Preston is here." One of the bodyguards went to the front desk and came back. "Miss, Preston is in his office on the 4th floor." The elevator stopped on the 4th floor, where 4 or 5 men in suits were standing in the hallway. Chloe walked straight to the office door, but one of the men blocked her. "Who are you?" Slap. Chloe slapped him across the face and snapped, "Open your damn eyes and see who I am." "Am Miss Sterling?" the man said, frowning. "My apologies. I didn't recognize you. Please wait a moment, Miss Sterling. I'll go inform him." "I need you to announce me to see him?" Get lost. Miss Sterling, Mr. Preston said that no matter who it is, they must be announced before entering his office. Miss Sterling, it's his rule. Please don't make things difficult for us. Chloe didn't waste any more words and gave her bodyguards a look. They blocked the men in suits, and Chloe pushed the door open and went in. The office had a lounge area, separated by floor-to-ceiling windows. Through the glass, I could clearly see Preston playing poker with 3 women. The first time I met him, I thought he was a refined gentleman, but now I finally understood why Chloe was so desperate to break off the engagement. You really can't judge a book by its cover. Miss Sterling, you can't go in there, one of his men shouted, startling Preston and the 3 women. Get out! Preston panicked. Chloe sat on the sofa with her back to the lounge, her expression unusually calm. Preston came out, his cold gaze sweeping over the men outside the door, who were so scared they barely dared to breathe. Don't blame them. I was the one who insisted on coming in. I just wanted to see what important work Mr. Preston was so busy with, Chloe said icily. Chloe, let me explain. I'm not usually this casual. They were the ones who seduced me. Couldn't resist, so, but you're the one I love. I've talked to my family, and we're going to start preparing for the wedding soon, Preston said, walking over wrapped in a towel. Chloe stood up, moved to the opposite sofa, and looked at me. Ethan, come sit with me. After something like this, for him to still claim he loved Chloe, his shamelessness ran even deeper than Victor's. Preston glared at me coldly. I ignored him, walked over, and sat down next to Chloe. Preston's face was grim. Ethan, do you know what you're doing? She is my fiancée. Get out of here right now, or you're not leaving alive. Don't be afraid. As long as I'm here, no one will touch you, Chloe said. Preston, I brought Ethan here to tell you that I'm his woman now, and I won't marry anyone else. As for our engagement, it's meaningless. Whether you break it off or not, I'm going to be with Ethan. Preston gave me a dismissive glance, his face full of scorn. Him? Hey, Chloe, I know you have a big misunderstanding about me, but you don't need to use him as a shield to piss me off. You say you're his woman, you think I'll believe that. Whether you believe it or not is your business, but we've already had our duo Q session. Why don't you go ask the arcade where we played? You can't just make up things like that. Who's making things up? Ethan, you tell him, haven't we had our session? Chloe said. I nodded. Chloe immediately poked my cheek, her face full of charm. Your raw Odin was very satisfying. Hearing that made my mouth go dry and a fire ignite within me. Slap. Preston slammed his hand on the coffee table, his eyes murderous. Ethan, I want you dead. Someone, get in here and kill him for me. A few of his men rushed in, and Chloe's bodyguards charged in as well. Chloe shouted, other people might be afraid of you, but I, Chloe Sterling, am not. If you want to touch my man, you'll have to get through me first. She said it with such authority, I was a little captivated. Preston was furious. I want him dead, and no one can protect him. Do it. A brawl broke out between the two sides. Preston said with a cold sneer, Chloe, have you forgotten whose territory this is? You're delusional to provoke me here. Since you've ruined my fun, then you can, soon. Another group of Preston's men rushed in from outside, and Chloe's bodyguards were instantly outnumbered and at a disadvantage. Preston sneered, grabbed Chloe's wrist, and dragged her towards the large round bed. He gave her a hard shove and she fell onto it. You bastard, get off me, Chloe yelled, but she couldn't break free from his grasp. Consumed by rage, I gritted my teeth, rushed in, and smashed the ashtray from the nightstand over Preston's head. With a thud, Preston went limp, kicked him away, pulled Chloe up, and we ran. You little punk, you dare to hit me? I'm going to tear you limb from limb. Stop them, don't let them get away, Preston yelled, clutching his head as blood streamed down. We burst out of the office, and I pulled Chloe as we ran downstairs. Hey, slow down, I can't keep up, Chloe panted, struggling to match my pace. When we reached the first floor lobby, a dozen of Preston's men were waiting and swarmed us. Chloe, you go first.
I shoved her away.
The situation was dire. I had to hold them off so she could escape. Nobody is leaving today. Boys, get him. A dozen men surrounded and beat me. I was powerless to fight back, so I curled into a ball to protect my vital organs. Chloe stomped her foot in frustration. Just then, Todd arrived with 7 or 8 men and immediately rushed in to help me. Chloe helped me up and we slipped out in the chaos. Once in the car, Chloe slammed her fist on the steering wheel. That dog Preston, I'm not done with him. He thinks he can bully me because I have no one? Fine, then I'll just have someone trash his club. Calm down. If you trash the club, things will get serious. I can't calm down. Chloe dialed a number. Listen, I need you to bring a crew to Maple Avenue and trash a club. Bring a lot of guys and be quick about it. That's all. After she hung up, I didn't dare to ask any more questions. Trashing a club was a big deal to me, but to Chloe it was probably nothing. By the way, are you okay? I swear you're so reckless. A dozen guys against you and you didn't think to run? You just stood there and fought them. You really think you're invincible? Chloe said, rolling her eyes at me. If I could have run, would I have just stood there and taken a beating? I was trying to hold them off so you could get away. I just didn't realize I was so weak. So you were protecting me? Chloe smiled and patted my shoulder. Not bad, not bad. Loyal and responsible. I'm very pleased. Don't worry, I won't let you get beaten up for nothing. Just as she was speaking, her phone rang. Her face changed. Oh no, it's my dad. He actually dared to tattle to my dad. That bastard is asking for it. Ethan, don't say anything. I'm taking this call. Dad, what's up? Chloe, where are you? Her father asked grimly. Chloe glanced at me. I'm out. What's the matter? Don't you dare lie to me. Did you just call Greg? And did you tell him to bring people to Trash Preston's club? You're getting more and more out of line. I'm giving you half an hour to get back here and explain yourself. Beep, beep, beep. Her father hung up. Chloe put her phone away. The guys I called aren't coming. So what now? Your bodyguards and Todd's crew are still at the club. Don't worry, Preston won't dare to do anything serious to them. At most, they'll get a few bruises. Ethan, you have to come home with me. I'm afraid my dad won't believe me. No eyes, just sit tight. Chloe floored the gas, and the car shot forward. About 20 minutes later, the car pulled into a luxurious estate. I was stunned by the opulent mansion, which reeked of money. No wonder Preston had said that what I earned in a year wasn't even enough for Chloe's allowance. What's wrong? Chloe asked. I gave a dry laugh. Your family is incredibly rich. This is nothing. There are plenty of rich people in Riverton, and many are wealthier than my family. Come on, let's go see my dad first. The living room was grand and luxurious. Her father sat on a large sofa, his expression grave. Her mother was there too and gave Chloe a subtle wink. Chloe, your dad is furious. You should hurry up and apologize. Mom, I didn't do anything wrong, Chloe said. Her father slammed the table. Nothing wrong? Preston called me himself and said you had him beaten up, and you still dare to say you did nothing wrong? Chloe, I can overlook your usual tantrums, but you've gone too far this time. Forget whether the Preston family will make a big deal out of this. You're engaged to Preston, which means you'll eventually be part of their family. They tolerate you now because you're not married yet, but how do you think they'll treat you once you are? You can't just think about the present. You have to consider the long term. Chloe rolled her eyes. I'm not marrying that scumbag. What did you say? Her father's presence filled the room with anger. I can tolerate a lot of things from you, but when it comes to marriage, you will listen to me. And why did you bring that kid back here? I don't want to see him. Get him out. I didn't know what to do. Chloe said, Dad, his name is Ethan, and he's the one I've chosen. If I'm going to marry anyone, it will be Ethan. I would rather die than marry someone like Preston. Her father shot up from his seat, his eyes cold and dangerous. Her mother quickly stepped in front of Chloe, afraid her father would strike her. Chloe, what kind of misunderstanding do you have with Preston? You make him sound like a terrible criminal. Her father gritted his teeth in anger and sat back down. I think Preston is a good person. Dad, do you even know Preston? Do you know how depraved his private life is? You don't know anything. Of course he acts like a good person in front of you, but behind your backs, his true nature comes out. You want to know what happened today? I'll tell you. I went to talk to him about something, and you know what I saw when I got there? I saw him with several women. You always think I'm being unreasonable, but if you were in my shoes, what would you do? Her mother's face flushed, more with anger than embarrassment. Nonsense. How could Preston be that kind of person? I don't believe it. Her father waved his hand dismissively. You want to know what happened, but when I tell you, you don't believe me. What do you want me to do? Mom, Dad, would I joke about something like this? If you just asked anyone who knows Preston, you'd find out what kind of person he really is, Chloe said indignantly. Her mother frowned and said meaningfully, I have heard a few things about Preston's private life. Her father said, there's no such thing as a perfect person in this world. And even if there were, they wouldn't be interested in you, Chloe. Dad, you're clearly biased. Chloe stomped her foot in anger.
Heer Vollersight.
Regardless, you can't just go around hitting people. I heard it was quite a beating. He was even bleeding. He deserved it, Chloe said. Here's what happened. I saw him with a few shameless women, and of course I wasn't happy about it, so I went in to confront him. But him? Not only did he not think he did anything wrong, he even said that our Sterling family has to suck up to the Preston family, so even if he wronged me, we would just have to accept it. Mom, Dad, I just don't understand. What do we have to gain from the Preston family that we have to be so subservient? I glanced at Chloe. I didn't think Preston had actually said that, but it was a brilliant move. Her father's face turned livid. The Preston family may be powerful, but the Sterling family doesn't need to suck up to them. Did Preston really say that? Of course he did, Chloe said, her eyes darting as she continued to spin her story. And that's not all. What's worse is that when I argued with him and he couldn't win, he tried to force himself on me. Luckily, Ethan rushed in and risked his own safety to save me. Mom, there were so many people watching, I'm too ashamed to face anyone. Chloe threw herself into her mother's arms and burst into tears. I was stunned. Her acting was incredible. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I almost would have believed her. How dare he? Her father roared, consumed by rage, and started to storm out. Her mother stopped him. Where are you going this late? To the Prestons. Her mother shook her head. You have no proof. What if Preston denies it? You'll be putting yourself in a difficult position. I can't let my daughter be wronged. That Preston kid always seemed so decent. I never thought he was such a despicable person. I can't push my own daughter into an abyss. A man like that is not worthy of her. This engagement has to be called off. Chloe cried even more heart-wrenchingly. Chloe, I'm sorry. We've been wrong about you all this time. I never realized you were suffering so much. Don't worry. If Preston is really that kind of person, I'll be the first to oppose this marriage. Her mother comforted her, her heart aching. You're my daughter too, have I not been good to you? Her father said irritably. I pushed you to marry him before because I didn't know what kind of person he was. Now that I know, I certainly won't force you anymore. Her mother said worriedly. But if our family is the one to break off the engagement, I'm afraid the Preston family won't agree. Her father paced back and forth. Then we'll just drag it out. When the Preston family can't take it anymore, they'll be the ones to break it off. But how long will that take? If the Preston family never breaks it off, does that mean our daughter can never get married? In the end, her father decided to stall for now and find an opportunity to talk to the Preston family later. Her mother agreed. Your name is Ethan, right? Her father asked, looking at me. I quickly nodded. Is everything Chloe said true? Chloe said mournfully, Dad, you still don't believe me. I wasn't asking you. Ethan, you tell me. Afraid of blowing her cover, I answered seriously, Mr. Sterling, everything Chloe said is true. I'm grateful to you for today. If it weren't for you, my daughter's reputation would have been ruined by Preston. You can ask for anything you want, money for example, I can satisfy any request. But my only condition is that you leave my daughter immediately. You two are not a good match, her father said, his face stern and his tone cold. Chloe, holding back tears, said, Dad, I want to be with Ethan, and no one can tear us apart. She clung to my arm tightly, as if in defiance. Stop clinging to him, it's improper. Let him go, her father roared. No, I love Ethan, Chloe said stubbornly. Her father gritted his teeth in anger and waved his hand dismissively. Are you determined to be the death of me? With that, he went upstairs. Her mother gave me a complicated look, was silent for a few seconds, and then said, Ethan, her father just has a bad temper. Don't take it to heart. Chloe is our only daughter. We've always cherished her, and we're terrified of her being bullied. You can't judge a book by its cover. Just like with Preston, we thought he was a good person, but we're only now learning what he's really like. I don't think you're like Preston. Chloe said, Mom, Ethan is so good to me. He saved me several times when I was in danger. Oh no, Mom, my bodyguards are still with Preston. You have to think of a way to get them out. Later, her mother personally called Preston to demand the release of her men, and he had no choice but to agree. Chloe arranged for a driver to take me home. As I was leaving, she said, Go home and get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. When I got home, I received a call from an unknown number. My friend, I heard you took a beating. Are you okay? It was Leo Vargas. Just some scrapes and bruises. Did Todd and his guys get back? They got back a while ago. I heard Mrs. Sterling had to call Preston herself to get him to let them go. Word of this has already reached Miss Sterling's parents. I just grunted in response. Leo thought for a few seconds. That's probably for the best. Preston is not an easy person to deal with. If Miss Sterling's parents get involved, it will be much easier to resolve. Mr. Vargas, you seem to know Preston quite well. Leo laughed and tried to be evasive. I've heard of him. My friend, you know I used to be in the underworld, so I know people from all walks of life. His explanation was plausible, but I felt there was more to it. Whenever Preston's name came up, Leo got nervous, but he deliberately tried to hide it, so I couldn't press him further. I went to bed late that night and didn't wake up until almost 11 the next day. After a quick bite, I headed to the barbecue stand. In the afternoon, Chloe called to ask where I was. I told her I was at the restaurant. Before long, she pulled up in an SUV with 3 or 4 of her close friends, all of whom I recognized. Chloe didn't get out of the car, just waved at me. Get in. I walked over and asked, Where are we going? To get revenge for you. You got beaten up last night, so I have to help you get even. I was taken aback and shook my head. Forget it, it's not a big deal. No need to dwell on it. Chloe was not happy. What do you mean it's not a big deal? Getting beaten up isn't a big deal? Don't forget you're my boyfriend now. You might be able to tolerate it, but I can't afford the embarrassment. Get in the car. I sighed and got in the car. Your dad said last night to let it go. If he finds out we're going after Preston again, how are you going to explain it? Chloe said, My dad has his own concerns. He's afraid Preston will use this against me, but it's not that easy to get leverage on me. Don't worry, I've already made arrangements. Today is not just about getting revenge for you. You don't even have to show your face. Just sit back and enjoy the show. I knew I couldn't stop her, so I just went along with it. Her father didn't want to cause trouble, because he was afraid Preston would use it to threaten their family. But Chloe said she had a way to teach Preston a lesson and make him swallow his anger, which made me curious. We went to a resort villa owned by the Sterling family. Chloe had prepared 2 adjacent rooms, separated by a single wall. She took me to the room on the right, while her friends went to the one next door. I closed the door and asked, What exactly are you planning? Can you tell me now? Chloe didn't answer. She opened a laptop, and after a few clicks, a surveillance feed of the next room appeared on the screen. Several women were sitting on a sofa, with a large round table next to them set with food and drinks. You'll see in a bit, Chloe said, telling me to watch the computer as she went next door. She asked a woman in a short skirt, "Is everything ready?" The woman, whose name was Evelyn, nodded. "Almost. Chloe, are we really doing this? I think it's a bit risky. That Preston is no pushover." Chloe glared at her. "Are you scared? If you're scared, you can leave. I'm not keeping you." "Chloe, what are you talking about? We're best friends. Your business is my business." "I'm not scared," Evelyn quickly declared. Before long, there was a knock on the door next door. Chloe opened it and Preston, wearing a hat, appeared at the entrance. "After I hit him with the ashtray last night, he must have gotten it treated." Preston's face was cold. "Chloe, what tricks are you trying to pull now? Let me be clear. If you're here to apologize for last night, I'll come in. If you want to talk about something else, I don't have time." Chloe put on an apologetic face. "Look at how petty you are. When I went home last night, my dad gave me a harsh lecture. I already know I was wrong, which is why I prepared this meal to apologize to you. Come on in." She reached out and pulled him in. "Is your head okay? Is it serious? That bastard didn't hold back. It hurt all night. By the way, where's that bastard now?" Preston walked in, muttering curses. Chloe had Preston sit down and said to Evelyn and the other women, "Girls, you all know what happened. Preston and I had a little disagreement last night, and it was my fault. So tonight's dinner is my apology to him. I'm not good with words, so I'm counting on you all tonight to make sure Preston is happy. Understand?" The women nodded. Evelyn smiled seductively. "Chloe, we understand. Don't worry. Mr. Preston isn't the type to hold a grudge, right, Mr. Preston?" Preston was a lecher, and surrounded by several women, he quickly got carried away and forgot about being beaten up. The women kept pouring him drinks, and he accepted them all, quickly downing half a bottle of hard liquor. Preston, drunk, shook his head. "Something's not right. It's only been half a bottle. How am I already drunk?" Chloe smiled. "Half a bottle is quite a bit. I thought you'd be out after 4 or 5 glasses. Looks like I underestimated your tolerance." This just proved he spent his days in debauchery. "The drink is spiked," Preston realized, slamming the table. He tried to stand but had no strength and collapsed back into his seat. "Chloe, you bitch. You dare to play dirty. No wonder you had them drink with me. What the hell are you trying to do?" "What am I doing? Your men beat up Ethan, so I have to get revenge for him. Girls, get him. Give it everything you've got." Chloe lunged forward, punching and kicking him, and Evelyn and the other women joined in. Preston was completely limp and could only take the beating, screaming like a pig being slaughtered. It was then that I understood Chloe's plan. By having a group of women beat up Preston, even if word got back to his family, they would have to just swallow their pride. It was pathetic that Preston was so easily distracted by pretty women that he never suspected a trap. After the onslaught, Preston was beaten black and blue, completely unrecognizable. "Preston, now you know how tough I am, right? This is what you get for messing with me," Chloe said, hands on her hips, panting. Preston wailed, "Chloe, you bitch, I'm not going to let you get away with this." "Oh, still talking tough? Girls, it looks like you didn't hit him hard enough." "Chloe, we used all our strength. I'm exhausted, more tired than after. I can't. I need a drink of water." Chloe pouted. "You spend all night with your boyfriends and I don't hear you complaining about being tired. I ask you to beat someone up and suddenly you're all weak. Move, let me do it." Chloe launched into another round of punches and kicks until Preston could barely scream. Evelyn and the others finally pulled her off. "Stop, stop, you're going to kill him. Chloe, you've let off some steam. Now we need to think about how to explain this to the Preston family. Don't forget, he's your fiancé." "I don't have a fiancé. My boyfriend is Ethan. You've all met him," Chloe said, smoothing her hair and taking a sip of water. "Evelyn, you're coming with me to the Prestons later. When we get there, you'll say that Preston got drunk and tried to force himself on you, and we only fought him to save you." Preston was on the verge of tears. "Do you think my family is a bunch of idiots? You think they won't see through this little trick?" Evelyn also said, "Yeah, Chloe, if we say that, will the Preston family believe us?" Chloe laughed dismissively. "As long as you insist that Preston forced himself on you, they'll have no choice but to believe it. And even if they don't, what can they do? They'll just have to take the loss. Stop talking, just do as I say. Evelyn, go get a couple of guys to carry him to the car, then we'll go to the Prestons." Chloe came to my room. "So, are you satisfied? If not, I can go back and kick him a few more times." I was embarrassed. "That's enough. I can't believe you came up with such a vicious plan. I'm impressed. When you're dealing with someone despicable, any method is fair game," Chloe said. "You're coming with us to the Prestons later. If things go well, I'll make them break off the engagement themselves." About 10 minutes later, we took Preston, who had been thrown into the car, to his family's home. On the way, I asked, "What if the Preston family still refuses to break off the engagement?" "There are no what-ifs," Chloe said. "I'm just saying, what if?" Chloe rolled her eyes at me and said impatiently, "Ethan, what's wrong with you? Can't you just think positively for once?" Of course I hoped things would go smoothly, but the Preston family had dragged this out for years without breaking the engagement. Why would they suddenly agree now? I had always been puzzled as to why Preston wouldn't break it off. Chloe's family was wealthy, but the birthmark over her left eye was jarring. Preston, who had been with countless women, secretly looked down on her. Was there some hidden reason? There were 7 or 8 people sitting in the living room of the Preston mansion. Seeing Preston beaten to a pulp, his mother roared, "Who did this? They dared to hit my son. I'll make them pay tenfold." His father's face was grim, but he was relatively calm. A beautiful, curvy woman in her early 30s walked over and asked, "Chloe, who beat up my brother like this?" "Veronica, I did it," Chloe said. Everyone in the room was stunned. Preston's mother's face was stern. "Chloe, you must have a reason for doing this, right? Don't forget you're still engaged to my son." "Engaged?" Chloe scoffed. "I remember the engagement, but I'm not sure your son does. To be honest, I had planned to treat Preston to dinner today and brought a few of my friends along. But I didn't expect that after he got drunk, he would start getting handsy with my friends right in front of me. If there hadn't been 4 or 5 of us there, he would have taken advantage of her." "Veronica, tell me, shouldn't I have hit him?" Preston shook his head frantically. "Sis, don't listen to this bitch's nonsense. It wasn't like that at all. She set me up. How can you talk like that? It's so vulgar. Chloe is your fiancée." Veronica shot him a harsh glare. Slap. Chloe raised her hand and slapped him, the sound sharp and clear. Chloe said sternly, "Preston, let this be a lesson to you. Don't talk so vulgarly in the future." "Mr. Preston, I was right to slap him, wasn't I?" his father said with a grim face. "You did well to hit him. Preston, you're a highly educated man. Is this how you behave? It's one thing to talk about others, but Chloe is your future wife. How could you curse at her like that? If I ever hear you speak so foully again, I'll deal with you myself." Preston's mother's face turned pale with anger. Veronica asked Preston, "You said just now that you were set up. What happened?" Preston explained what had happened. The Preston family fell silent, clearly believing him. Chloe said angrily, "Preston, are you saying I'm lying? Oh, how about this? Evelyn was the one involved. Let her speak for herself. Did you or did you not get handsy with her? Evelyn, don't be afraid. Even though this is the Preston's house, Mr. Preston and his family are reasonable people. They won't give you a hard time." Evelyn sobbed, "Mr. Preston, Chloe is right. After Mr. Preston had a few drinks, he tried to touch my chest. When I refused, he became violent. Luckily, Chloe was there or I would have been by Mr. Preston." Evelyn covered her face and wept. "Evelyn, you dare to make things up and ruin my reputation. I'll make you pay for this." Preston roared, about to strike her. Evelyn, terrified, hid behind Chloe. Chloe glared at Preston. Getting agitated is a sign of a guilty conscience. If you didn't harass Evelyn, why are you so worked up? Preston, I'm telling you, don't think you can do whatever you want just because this is your family's territory. We're all reasonable people here. Evelyn cried, "Mr. Preston, I didn't do anything to offend you. Why are you targeting me? I'm begging you, please leave me alone." With Chloe and Evelyn playing their parts perfectly, the Preston family looked at each other, speechless. Even if they knew Chloe was deliberately framing him, they had no proof and were powerless. His father strode up to Preston, slapped him hard across the face, and roared, "You bastard! You've brought shame upon the entire Preston family." His mother pushed his father away, protectively shielding her son. "Why are you hitting him? Can't you see he's already hurt? I don't believe my son is the kind of person they're describing." "Ma'am, are you suggesting we're framing your son?" "I'm just saying my son is not that despicable." "So he's noble?" "Heh, that's the funniest joke I've heard all year. Last night when I went to find your son, he was in bed with several shameless women. Just thinking about it now makes me sick." Preston's face turned red. "I wasn't." "Chloe, you're talking nonsense." "I'm talking nonsense? I wasn't the only one there. Ethan saw it too, he can testify." I said, "What Chloe said is true. I saw it with my own eyes." Preston's mother yelled at me, "Who are you? Do you have any right to speak here? Get out." His father also gave me a cold look, and Veronica glanced at me as well. Preston shot back, "Mom, speaking of this kid, he cheated with my fiancée. He slept with Chloe." His words sent shockwaves through the room. "What? He and Chloe actually?" Preston's mother was incredulous. "Chloe, you are the future daughter-in-law of the Preston family, and you're cheating with another man? Have you thought about our family's reputation? If your son can cheat on me, why can't I sleep with someone else?" Chloe retorted angrily. His mother was so angry she could barely breathe. Veronica tried to calm her down. His mother snapped, "I can't just let this go." Preston suddenly roared at the door, "Someone, get in here and tear this bastard limb from limb." Several burly men rushed in from outside. Chloe said coldly, "Who dares to touch him?" "Chloe, you're still trying to protect that bastard? Dream on. This is the Preston's house. What are you waiting for? Do it." Preston raged. Chloe stood in front of me, shielding me. The men knew who she was and didn't dare to make a move. His father commanded grimly, "I hired you to protect this family, not to be thugs. All of you, get out." The men scurried out. His father continued, "Chloe, your engagement to Preston was arranged a long time ago. It was a decision made by our families and shouldn't be taken lightly. But your relationship is getting worse and worse. What are we to do? If word of this gets out, it will bring shame to both the Preston and Sterling families." Preston said, "Break it off. I, Preston, am not going to marry a woman who's been with someone else and be shamed for the rest of my life." His father's gaze turned cold as he stared at Preston. What did you say? Preston shrank back and muttered under his breath. Well, she is. Shut up, his father roared, raising his hand. Veronica quickly said, Dad, Preston is just being immature. Please calm down, don't stoop to his level. Preston, you should say less too. Isn't this chaotic enough? Preston struck a defiant pose. Chloe took the opportunity to say, Mr. Preston, you heard him. Preston doesn't even like me, and there are no feelings between us. You can't force love. It's better to let each other go and be free than to live a miserable life together. Well, his father looked troubled. His mother scoffed, Fine, break it off. It's not like my son can't find a wife. Why hang on to just one person? Besides, my son is so handsome. There are plenty of girls who like him. Her mother's underlying meaning was that the birthmark on Chloe's face made her unworthy of Preston. Veronica said, An engagement is not a trivial matter. We should think this through carefully. Chloe, Preston, I think you're both just angry right now. Why don't you both calm down and we can talk about this again later? Sis, don't try to persuade me. I'll say it again. I, Preston, will not marry a woman who's been with someone else. We all know who's really been around. Since that's the case, there's no point in talking further. If we're breaking off the engagement, we should put it in writing, right? A verbal agreement is not enough, Chloe said. Preston scoffed dismissively, as if I would go back on my word. Let's write the annulment agreement right now. Preston was resolute, which was exactly what Chloe wanted. Although his father had his reservations, he was out of options. In the end, they wrote up an annulment agreement, both signed it, and each took a copy. His father sighed helplessly. Such a good match. How did it come to this? Mr. Preston, it's getting late, so we won't bother you any longer. Ethan, Evelyn, let's go. The engagement was finally broken, and Chloe was the happiest of all. As for whether she was used goods, she didn't care at all. After all, nothing had actually happened between us. After leaving the Prestons, Chloe drove me home, her face beaming with joy. From today on, I'm finally free. Ethan, you played a huge part in this. Ask for any reward you want, and I'll do my best to grant it. I shook my head with a bitter smile. What did I do? You're the smart one. You got Preston to break off the engagement with just a little trick. You're amazing. Really? I don't know why, but I've been annoyed by him since we were kids. After putting up with it for so many years, I finally solved a major problem. Of course, without your cooperation, Preston would have never agreed to break it off. I'm the only daughter in the Sterling family, so our family's fortune would have eventually been taken over by him. That's why he, and the whole Preston family, didn't want to break off the engagement. They were after our family's assets. You helped me, so I have to thank you. How about this? I'll take you out for a drink, Chloe said, looking at me with a smile. I remembered the time I was drugged and quickly waved my hand. No thanks. Chloe burst out laughing and rolled her eyes flirtatiously. Look at you, all talk and no action. We're a couple now. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Isn't that what a girlfriend is supposed to do? I don't have those kinds of thoughts. Just drive. TCH, you're just repressed. If you get too pent up, don't blame me for not helping you out. Her teasing was getting me worked up, but I had to stay calm. The next morning, I received a call from Chloe's father, Mr. Sterling. Is this Ethan? This is Chloe's father. Do you have some time later? I'd like to meet with you. I agreed. Half an hour later, a bodyguard picked me up and took me to the Sterling Corporation. A young woman named Jessica greeted me, gave me a tour of the company, and finally led me to Mr. Sterling's office. I understood that he was trying to make me back off. Mr. Sterling gestured for me to sit and asked, I heard you and Chloe went to the Prestons last night and successfully broke off the engagement? I nodded. Mr. Sterling continued, To be honest, I never expected Preston to be so fickle. Chloe is my only daughter, and I can't push her into a fiery pit, so breaking off the engagement was probably the best solution. You played a significant role in this, and I, Mr. Sterling, always repay my debts. Since you helped Chloe, I must thank you. He placed a bank card in front of me. There's $500,000 in here. It's your reward. Of course, I have one condition. I want you to stay away from my daughter from now on. Can you agree to that? Just as I expected. I smiled faintly and said, Mr. Sterling, I know the gap between Chloe and me is vast, so I would never dare to have any improper thoughts about her. The truth is, that day you found us at the hotel was just an act she put on. Nothing happened between us. I know, Mr. Sterling said. I was taken aback. Mr. Sterling explained, I know what kind of person my daughter is. Although she's often carefree and throws tantrums like a spoiled princess, she knows where to draw the line better than anyone. The reason I didn't expose her at the time was because I wanted to see how the Preston family would react when they found out. All right, please continue. To be blunt, I was just a shield Chloe used. Now that she's broken off her engagement with Preston, there's no need for me to be her shield anymore. So I will keep my distance from her in the future. As for this card, I can't accept it. Chloe has already compensated me. Mr. Sterling shook his head and said I was being too naive. He suggested that Chloe might have actually developed feelings for me, and even if I didn't contact her, she would contact me. I gave a surprised, bitter smile. How could she possibly like me? You're worrying for nothing, Mr. Sterling. I hope I am overthinking it. Ethan, How about I give you a sum of money for you to leave Riverton for a while? Once she's forgotten about you, you can come back. Would that be acceptable? Mr. Sterling, isn't that asking a bit too much? Mr. Sterling nodded. Yes, I know it's a difficult request. But other than that, I can't think of any other way to stop Chloe from contacting you. Fine, since you don't agree, I won't force you. Take this card. Consider it a personal thank you from me. I refused. After leaving the Sterling Corporation, I went to the barbecue stand. The meeting with Mr. Sterling left me feeling vaguely uncomfortable. He kept bringing up the difference in our social status, as if he was looking down on the poor. As soon as I got to the restaurant, Chloe called. Seeing it was her, I didn't answer, but she quickly called a second time. After a long hesitation, I finally picked up. My dad came to see you? What did he say to you? He just gave me a tour of the Sterling Corporation, nothing else. You can't even lie properly. My dad is busy every day. You're not some important official. Why would he have the time to invite you for tea? Now tell me, what did my dad really say to you? Chloe pressed me again and again, so I told her the truth. I knew it was about that. So you agreed? You're really not going to contact me anymore. I opened my mouth, but the words wouldn't come out. Chloe said angrily, Ethan, don't forget, the 3 months aren't up yet. You're still my boyfriend. As a man, you have to keep your word. If you dare to back out now, I won't forgive you. I have something to do right now. I'll come find you when I'm done. To be honest, I was in a difficult position. Just as I was worrying about this, more trouble arrived. That afternoon, Preston showed up with a group of rich kids. They filled up every table, both inside and out, but just sat there chatting without ordering anything. Many potential customers left because there were no seats. By dusk, Preston still hadn't left. Kevin couldn't take it anymore and went over. Are you guys going to eat or not? If you're not eating, then leave. Don't disrupt our business. You fatso, what's with the attitude? You open a rundown barbecue joint and you really think you're the boss? A young man next to Preston sneered contemptuously. How much can this dump possibly make in a day? 1,000? 2,000? 10,000? Name a number, I'll double it. Kevin was single-minded and glared at them. So what if you're rich? Even if you're loaded, I'm not serving you. Go, all of you leave. Stop disrupting our business. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police. Haha, go ahead, call them. Want me to make the call for you? The young man laughed. If you don't call the police, I'll lose all respect for you. Kevin snorted in anger, his expression changing. Preston suddenly said, we're customers. On what grounds can you have security arrest us? Bring us the menu. A waiter cautiously handed over the menu. Preston looked at it and said, listen up, I'm ordering now. 1 lamb skewer, 1 beef skewer, 1 chicken wing. 1 of each for every table. Got it. Ordering only 1 of each skewer, it was clear they were just trying to cause trouble. Kevin slammed his hand on the table. If you're not eating, then leave. I can't serve you. Preston just smiled faintly, but the young men at his table immediately shot up from their seats. You fatso, what's with your attitude? We're gracing your establishment with our business. Don't be ungrateful. Just bring the food as Mr. Preston ordered. If you're 1 skewer short or 1 skewer over, I'll trash this dump. What are you waiting for? Get to it. If we don't see those skewers in 5 minutes, we're trashing this place anyway. Kevin was about to explode, his face red with anger. I quickly went over, patted his shoulder and whispered, just do as they ask. Don't be reckless, or you'll fall into their trap. Only then did Kevin suppress his anger and go to prepare the skewers. Seeing that we hadn't taken the bait, Preston's face darkened. He narrowed his eyes and said, Ethan, you remember this. Riverton isn't big enough for the both of us. Our feud is on. From today on, I'll be coming to support your business every day. Let's go. With that, Preston strode out, and his followers left one by one. Kevin wanted to go ask for the money, but I stopped him. They were after me. I didn't expect to drag you into this. Kevin frowned. Ethan, what are you talking about? You thought I was worthy enough to go into business with you. I'm not an ungrateful person. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that we can't go on like this. If they pull this stunt every day, the barbecue stand will have to close down sooner or later. I was also worried. If it were anyone else, I would have fought back already, but Preston was rich and powerful. I couldn't act recklessly. It wasn't that I was afraid of him. I was just thinking that if I made a move, it had to be a decisive blow. A minor lesson would be meaningless. Ethan, maybe we should call Chloe and tell her? If she steps in, it might help. I waved my hand. I need to figure out how to solve my own problems. What's the point of always bothering her? This won't work, that won't work. Are we really going to have to close down? Let's just endure it for now. We'll think of a solution. Kevin sighed helplessly. About 10 minutes later, Chloe drove up. Seeing the empty restaurant, she asked, what's going on today? This is usually our busiest time. Why is there no one here? Kevin opened his mouth to speak, but I quickly shot him a look. I gave a dry laugh. It's normal to have no business. Maybe people will come later. Chloe's gaze swept over us, as if she was thinking about something. Finally, she smiled and said, it's good that there's no one here. We can take a break. Kevin, Ethan, and I are going out. The restaurant is in your hands. Where are we going? I asked, confused. Chloe, you two go have fun. Don't worry. I've got the restaurant, Kevin said, patting his chest. Chloe pulled me into the car. After we started moving, she asked, "Did Preston send people to cause trouble again?" The moment I got out of the car, I felt something was off. "Something's wrong" was written all over Kevin's face. "Why didn't you let him tell me?" Chloe was smart. I couldn't hide it from her. I pretended to be casual. "I can handle it, you don't need to worry." "How will you handle it? Tell me," Chloe pressed. "We'll cross that bridge when we come to it." Chloe pouted. "You say that so easily, but is Preston really that easy to deal with? Even if he is, what about the Preston family behind him? But in the end, this feud between you and him started because of me. I'm sorry, I didn't expect to cause you so much trouble." I smiled, relieved. "It's fine, I'll figure something out. But on one condition, you can't leave me." "The 3-month period isn't over yet," Chloe said, wrinkling her nose playfully. "I heard there's a new movie out that's pretty good. Let's go see it." "You brought me out just for this? Is seeing a movie not important?" "Miss, I have to earn money. Unlike you, who doesn't have to do anything and has more money than you can spend." "Are you saying my existence is a waste of resources?" Chloe said, displeased. Quickly shook my head. "I'm just saying, there's a difference between people." "Stop talking, I get it. You're saying that watching a movie with me is less important than you making money, right? Then get out of the car." "I won't keep you from your money," Chloe said, pulling over to the side of the road. "Get out, go make your money. Isn't money all you care about?" I couldn't win an argument with her, so I just shut up, but I didn't get out of the car. Chloe suddenly smiled. "I knew you wouldn't have the heart to leave me, big brother." It was a weekend, and the movie theater was crowded. Chloe chose a teen drama, which I wasn't interested in, but she was completely engrossed, her eyes even getting misty. At some point, Chloe snuggled up against me, her arm linked with mine. The soft touch and her unique scent were starting to get to me. Chloe suddenly whispered in my ear, "Ethan, I want to." Her voice was soft, her warm breath on my ear sending a shiver through me. What did she want? Was she thinking of doing something right here? My blood was boiling. "Ethan, I have to pee." The mood was all set, and she had to say she needed to pee. I was speechless. "But it's dark, and I'm scared." "You have to come with me," Chloe said, clinging to my arm. I was completely exasperated but had no choice but to agree. By the time we came out of the restroom, the movie was over. Chloe linked her arm with mine, clinging to me like a girl in love. "Let's go get something to eat," Chloe suddenly said as we passed a restaurant. I nodded. "We're not dining and dashing this time, are we?" Chloe rolled her eyes at me. "Do I look like the kind of person who dines and dashes?" I shook my head. "No." The restaurant was in a prime location and still quite busy at 10 o'clock at night. As I walked in, I happened to see Victor and Amelia at a nearby table, along with a few other young men and women I didn't recognize. "Victor, congratulations. Buying a house right after graduation, that's amazing," the young man sitting across from him said. "Yeah, we've been working for almost 5 years, and after living expenses we've saved less than 100,000. You're way ahead of us." "Hee, of course. Which of your girlfriends is as beautiful as Amelia? Just based on that, you'll never catch up to me in this lifetime." The group continued to praise him, and Victor basked in the compliments. Chloe, holding my arm, scoffed dismissively. "Sigh, I thought this restaurant was something special, but it looks like any riffraff can get in." "Ethan, should we go somewhere else? Since we're already here, let's just stay. No need to change places because of them." The young people at the table all looked at us, sensing the hidden meaning in Chloe's words. A young man in glasses said grimly, "Young people these days are so impetuous. They don't have much ability, but they think they're all that. These are the types who clearly haven't been beaten down by society yet." Chloe turned her head, her gaze locking onto him. "Are you talking about me?" "Whoever I'm talking about knows it," the young man said, adjusting his glasses. Chloe stood up and walked over. I tried to stop her, but I couldn't. Victor and Amelia looked nervous. Victor stood up and said, "Chloe, he's my colleague. Just let it go." Chloe ignored Victor completely, picked up a glass of red wine, and threw it in the man's face. "Who do you think you are to be wearing glasses? I can't stand phony intellectuals like you. From now on, you'd better watch where you're looking. If you ever see me again, you get as far away from me as possible." The young man shot up in anger, slammed the table, but before he could finish speaking, Chloe shot back, "Do you know who I am? You're not qualified to act tough in front of me." The young man, having lost face, wanted to argue, but Victor stopped him. "Mr. Wallace, just let it go. She's the heiress of the Sterling Corporation. We can't afford to mess with her." "The Sterling Corporation?" The man in glasses froze, then became visibly anxious. "Victor, let's go," Amelia suddenly said. Victor nodded, gave his colleague a look, and prepared to leave. Chloe added, "Miller, I haven't settled the score with you for trying to seduce Ethan last time. If you hadn't run off so quickly that day, I would have ruined your pretty face. What kind of person are you, always wanting more than you have? One man isn't enough for you, you have to go after mine too. I'm warning you, stay away from Ethan. If I ever find you bothering him again, don't blame me for what happens." At her words, Victor and his colleague looked at Amelia in surprise. In Victor's eyes, there was not only surprise but also anger. "Amelia!" Amelia's face flushed slightly, and she quickly said, "Victor, don't listen to her nonsense. I'm not as despicable as she says." "Heh, ridiculous. You don't think you're despicable enough? If I hadn't gotten there in time that day, you would have had your way with Ethan, Chloe said relentlessly. My face flushed red. That day wasn't at all what Chloe thought. Amelia hadn't seduced me. I was the one who had lost control. Chloe, I've put up with you for a long time. Don't go too far. Did I seduce him that day? Let him say it himself. Wasn't he the one who forced himself on me? And you're still coming after me? You should be glad I'm not coming after you. Amelia lost control and screamed. Ethan, you animal. I'll kill you. Victor exploded, raising a decanter to charge at me, but was held back by his colleague. Slap. Chloe raised her hand and slapped Victor hard across the face, snapping, You're the animal. Ethan is a good person. If you ever dare to curse at him again, I'll cut out your tongue. Victor was extremely proud, and being slapped by a woman in public made him desperate. What, are you going to hit back? It's not that I look down on you, but if you dare to lay a single finger on me today, I'll make you regret it. Try me, Chloe said, meeting his anger head-on, completely unafraid. Victor gritted his teeth in anger but didn't dare to retaliate. Victor, just let it go. She's the heiress of the Sterling Corporation. We can't afford to offend her. Let's go, the man in glasses said. Amelia suddenly walked up to me and asked coldly, Did you tell her that I was the one who seduced you that day? Quickly shook my head. That's not true, and I wouldn't lie about it. At least you have some conscience left. Listen, I'm getting engaged to Victor soon. Don't bother me anymore, or I'll call the police. Amelia said sternly. They were getting engaged? I thought I was over her, but hearing those words, my heart still felt like it was being pierced by a needle, a sharp, drilling pain. So what if you're getting engaged? It's not like other people can't get engaged. Listen up, Ethan and I are getting engaged too, and he'll be the young master of the Sterling Corporation. Chloe pushed Amelia aside, linked her arm with mine to declare her claim, her presence powerful. Amelia's eyes narrowed. She shot me a complicated glance and scoffed, Oh, really? Then I wish you both happiness. But a man who marries into a rich family for money probably doesn't have any real feelings to speak of, right? Who says he's doing it for money? He's getting engaged to me because he loves me, Chloe said. Loves you? Amelia glanced at Chloe. What does he love about you? Your looks? Chloe, do you dare to take off your sunglasses? Amelia, don't go too far, I said indignantly. She knew Chloe had a birthmark over her left eye and was deliberately saying it to be cruel. It was too much. Amelia seemed to realize she had gone too far, bit her lip, and turned to walk away. I thought Chloe would be angry and insecure, but there was no anger on her face. Instead, she looked at them mockingly. What you see isn't always the truth. Not everyone is as shallow as you. Maybe all you see is the birthmark on my left eye, but Ethan sees something deeper. That's the difference between you and him. And Amelia, don't think that just because you're pretty, every man in the world should revolve around you. If you really had that many men, I'm not sure you could handle it. I used to think you were a rival, but after everything that's happened recently, you're not even close to being worthy. Amelia didn't say another word and left in a huff. Chloe sat down and asked me, Ethan, do you think I'm ugly too? To be honest, if it weren't for the birthmark on my left eye, I'd be very pretty. Look, I have a good face, a good figure, right? Over the years, I've seen many doctors and had many treatments, but the results have been minimal. I think this birthmark might be with me for the rest of my life. Sigh. Chloe's face and figure were both top-notch, but they were marred by that one birthmark. I smiled and comforted her. Maybe it's because of that birthmark that you'll be able to find someone who truly loves you. Do you mind the birthmark on my face? Chloe asked, her gaze intense. The first time I saw the birthmark on her left eye, I was shocked. It was like a flaw on a perfect piece of art. But as I got to know her, I started to forget it was even there. I thought for a long time and said, a little, but not much. Chloe smiled. If you said you didn't mind at all, I would have thought you were just trying to make me happy. Forget you, even I'm very self-conscious about it. I didn't say anything, and neither did Chloe. She just looked at me thoughtfully. After eating, Chloe drove me home. She parked in front of my house and I got out. Chloe suddenly asked, Aren't you going to invite me in for a bit? Even just for a glass of water. I'm thirsty. It was almost midnight, so it wasn't very convenient. I said, Some other time. I'll definitely have you over for dinner. Chloe pouted, displeased. What's wrong with eating somewhere else? Why does it have to be at your house? I'm tired from driving. I just want to come in and rest for a bit. Can't I? I nodded helplessly. Of course you can. Then invite me, Chloe said with a smile. Chloe always had a way of saying things that caught me off guard. Miss, I'm inviting you in, all right? Since you're so insistent, I suppose I can grace you with my presence, Chloe said, hopping out of the car. The house had been newly renovated and was simple and comfortable. I poured her a glass of water. Tisk tsk, look at how you're living. It looks like you really need to find a wife, Chloe said, holding the glass. I just smiled faintly and said nothing. This woman was trying to seduce me with every word. The more I said, the more trouble I'd be in, so I chose silence. How about I move in with you? I can take care of you. I almost choked on my own saliva, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Miss, can you cook? Have you ever done housework? And you're going to take care of me? Chloe shot me an annoyed look. Were you born knowing how to cook? You learn how to do things. Just because I didn't know how before doesn't mean I can't learn now, right? Don't look down on me. I'm very smart. I can learn anything quickly. I smiled and nodded. She was indeed smart. Hurry up and drink. It's getting late and you still have to drive back. It's not safe to be out too late. Chloe replied, then I won't go back. I'll just stay here. I was stunned. Was there anyone who seduced people like this? I deliberately gave her a wicked smile. Aren't you afraid I'll take advantage of you? Chloe was startled for a moment, put down her glass and walked towards me. Do you dare? She actually sat right on my lap, wrapped her arms around my neck, and whispered, her breath warm and fragrant, if you dare, I'll cooperate. Who bullies someone like that? My blood pressure soared. I wrapped my arm around her slender waist and, to her surprised gaze, kissed her alluring red lips hard. It was my first time kissing a woman. My mind went blank, filled only with a restless desire. Chloe's body tensed up. She hadn't expected me to actually kiss her. At first, she resisted a little, but gradually she started to cooperate. In the dead of night, the room was filled with an air of passion. After some time, a man's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Miss, it's very late. It's time to go home. It was the Sterling family's bodyguard. Chloe shot up like a startled rabbit, instantly pushing me away and standing up. Her short-sleeved shirt had ridden up, revealing her fair, flat stomach. As she straightened her clothes, she said nervously, I know, mind your own business. Chloe's face was so red it looked like it was about to bleed. She didn't dare to look at me directly, only glancing at me from the corner of her eye. I'm going to go now. You get some rest. Good night. With that, she fled. I rubbed my face hard. I wasn't usually a lecher. How had I lost control? Looking back on that night, I couldn't help but give a bitter smile. It was that impulsive moment that took my relationship with Chloe to a whole new level.